As soon as someone receives the red packet you send, you'll get up to $1 million in cash back. The deeper your bond, the higher the reward. Who's the first person you'd send this to? It had been a year since college. You'd been jobless for 3 months, your savings were gone, and even your credit lines were completely maxed out. You had no idea that while you were drowning in despair, worrying about how to survive, fate was about to knock on your door. Your phone rang, jolting you awake. Seeing Mom's name, your heart raced. You sat up instantly, took a deep breath, and answered. Hiding your nerves, you forced a smile. Hey, Mom. She hesitated, asking if she was interrupting work. You stifled your pain, lied, and said you were at the office. Your heart was breaking. In reality, you hadn't worked in 3 months and your hard-earned savings were long gone. When Mom asked if you were coming home for New Year's, you went silent. You didn't have a cent to your name, you couldn't face going home. You lied, saying work was too busy. Mom sounded sad, saying she'd made your favorite spicy sausages. Your eyes welled up. As the call ended, a crushing sense of helplessness overwhelmed you. Suddenly, a loud knocking at the door. You scrambled into clothes and opened it. Your landlords, the Liu couple, stood there. Liu was demanding the 2 months of overdue rent in a harsh tone. Their eyes felt like blades. You begged for a few more days, but they refused, threatening that if you didn't pay up, you'd be evicted. Just as things escalated, the husband intervened, calming his wife and signaling for you to step aside. You promised you wouldn't run and would pay everything after the new year. The landlady left reluctantly, but the husband warned you privately that after the new year, you had to pay, otherwise he couldn't help you anymore. He invited you to dinner, and you gladly accepted, as it meant one less meal to worry about. Back in your room, you collapsed on the bed. Staring at mounting bills on your phone, you shut your eyes in despair. Unemployment was brutal. Then, a cold mechanical voice echoed in your mind. Ding. Red Packet Cashback System successfully activated. You bolted upright. Before you could process it, the voice continued. You have been granted a special fund of 100 million yuan, usable only for sending red packets. By sending them to friends, you can receive up to 10,000 times the cashback. You were stunned. It was real. The system rules were simple. You could only send packets to those with an intimacy score of 90 or higher. 97 points meant 100 times cashback, and 100 points meant 10,000 times. With a pounding heart and shaking hands, you opened your little sister Chen Qingqing's chat. A panel appeared that only you could see. Recipient Chen Qingqing, intimacy score 97. You were shocked for a moment. It wasn't 100, but 97. Still, it didn't matter. 97 meant you could send $1 million from the system's fund and receive 100 times that in cashback. That was 100 million yuan. Without wasting a second, you used the system's fund to prepare a 1 million yuan red packet and hit send. Meanwhile, your sister, unable to afford a computer, was facing humiliation in her university class. The atmosphere in the Yang Electronic Science and Technology University classroom was suffocating. The professor coldly issued a final warning. This assignment would only be accepted as a PowerPoint presentation. Anyone submitting a handwritten copy would be failed immediately. Those words hit her like a slap to the soul. Sitting at her desk, Chen Qingqing felt the sting of those words. She hung her head in shame, as she was the only poor student forced to handwrite her work. A freshman, her family's finances were so dire that buying a computer was impossible. She usually borrowed her roommates, but this time it hadn't been available. She'd been forced to submit a handwritten assignment. Little did she know she'd be shamed before the whole class. Suddenly, everyone's eyes were fixed on her. Some gazes were mocking, some pitying, others just cold. Then a sharp voice spoke up. Sir, that's not fair. Some students simply cannot afford a computer. It was Fang Union, she smiled, but her eyes were venomous, deliberately targeting Chen Qingqing. The professor replied coldly, I don't want excuses. No computer? Borrow one or go to an internet cafe. I want results. Chen Qingqing bit her lip, trying to hold back tears. Her roommate Liu Xiaoyu couldn't bear it. She squeezed her hand and whispered, Qingqing, ignore Fang Union. I don't need my computer right now. Use mine. Qingqing looked at her gratefully. Thank you, Xiaoyu. Although Liu Xiaoyu wasn't wealthy, her smile was the greatest comfort Chen Qingqing could have asked for. They gathered their things and headed out, but as they stepped through the door, another problem arose. A boy blocked their path. Chen Qingqing, I have a computer. You can take it. Return it when you're done. The boy was Zhuo Yang, the class's famous rich kid and a notorious playboy. Chen Qingqing refused without a second thought. Thanks, but there's no need. I'll use Xiaoyu's. With that, she took Liu Xiaoyu's hand and walked away. Zhuo Yang watched her go, smirking. A small-town girl, I'm certain I can make her fall for me. Fang Yunian stood nearby, watching everything, her eyes burning with jealousy. Chen Qingqing is trying to seduce Zhuo Yang again. I'll make you pay for this one day. As they headed to the canteen, Liu Xiaoyu asked with a smile, how many times have you turned Zhuo Yang down? He's the most popular guy. Chen Qingqing said firmly, I just want to finish my studies and graduate properly. Just then, her phone vibrated again. Her brother Chen Longnian's name flashed on the screen. She answered. Hello, brother? He asked. Qingqing, what are you doing? Is class over? You're going to the canteen? Without preamble, you said, listen, I just sent you a red packet. Accept it quickly. Chen Qingqing was stunned. You sent me a red packet? But where did you get the money? As far as she knew, you were jobless. Things were so bad she often saved her own pocket money to help you. Now suddenly her brother was sending her money? You just said, don't think so much. Just accept it first. Confused, she hung up and opened WeChat. A red packet was indeed waiting for her. Liu Xiaoyu looked on curiously. Wow, who sent that? Was it your unemployed brother again, the one you always help? Chen Qingqing smiled. Yes, it was him. I don't get it. Maybe he sent us a few bucks to help me out. Saying this, she opened the red packet. Lu Xiaoyu peered at the screen too, but as soon as it opened, the amount shown left both girls speechless. A large digit appeared, followed by so many zeros that neither could comprehend it for a moment. Time seemed to stop. Lu Xiaoyu's eyes went wide, and she trembled. Look, how much money is this? Chen Qingqing stared hard, caught her breath and shrieked, 10,000? A full 10,000? Lu Xiaoyu covered her mouth in shock. Did your brother win the lottery? He sent 10,000 straight up, but instead of joy, worry clouded Qingqing's face. She turned pale, her mind racing. He's been unemployed, so how could he suddenly send this much? Is this dirty money? Did you choose an illegal path for this? At the thought, Chen's hands began to tremble. Like a madwoman, she dialed your number immediately. You were staring fixedly at your phone screen, your heart pounding right up in your throat. As soon as Qingqing accepted the red packet, a cool mechanical voice echoed in your mind. Chen Qingqing has successfully received the red packet. 100-fold return activated. 10 million yuan has been deposited into your account. In that instant, your breath hitched. A virtual panel shimmered before your eyes. Proximity 97 points. Red packet sent. 100,000 yuan. Total return 10 million yuan. With trembling hands, you opened your WeChat balance, your eyes widening at the massive sum. 10 million yuan. Really 10 million. You couldn't hold back your joy and burst into laughter. What an incredible system. Just then, your phone buzzed again. It was a call from Chen Qingqing. Steadying yourself, you picked up. Hello, Qingqing. On the other end, her trembling voice asked, Brother, tell me the truth. Did you do anything illegal? You smiled, teasing. What do you take your brother for? Am I some kind of criminal? About this money, don't ask. You cut her off, your voice firmer than before. What I gave you, keep it. If you've taken it, spend it. If you've run out, just ask for more. Taking a deep breath, you emphasized every word. You're my little sister. Your responsibility is mine now. On the other end, there was total silence. After a long pause, Qingqing whispered, Brother, you've been acting a bit too cocky lately. With that, she hung up. Hearing the beep of the disconnected call, you stood there stunned. You muttered to yourself, am I really acting cocky? The next moment, seeing your account balance, you told yourself, now that I have this system, I've earned the right to be a little arrogant. You changed and headed out, destination, your landlord's house upstairs. After hanging up, Qingqing breathed a sigh of relief. Even if she didn't know the source, she was certain that if her brother gave it, the money was clean and honest. Her roommate, Luo Xiaoyu, came over and asked, so, can we spend this money? Chen Qingqing nodded confidently. Yes, absolutely. Let's skip the canteen today. I'm treating you to a great meal. Meanwhile, upstairs at Luo Balloon's place, the mood was quite different. Yu Meijuan sat on the sofa, scolding her husband. Luo, when will this foolishly kind habit of yours ever end? Their daughter Luo Xin added, Mom's right. Did Dad forgive someone's rent again? Luo Balloon said bitterly, I didn't forgive it, just gave the lad some breathing room. Yu Meijuan gave a cold laugh. The last tenant said the same thing, then packed his bags and vanished forever. Balloon sipped his tea and said, Chen Royan isn't like that. He's a good kid, much better than the last one. Yu Meijuan rolled her eyes. I think sitting around drinking with him has rotted your brain. Actually, during your stay here, you and Luo Balloon had become good friends. Despite the age gap, you had both become quite close. Luo Xin brought hot tea and slammed the cup onto the table. Dad Chen Royan hasn't stepped out of the house in 2 or 3 months. It's clear he lost his job. If this keeps up, he'll never pay the rent. Luo Balloon burned his tongue on the hot tea and barked, what's there to fear? It's only 2 months of rent overdue. He'll pay it all once he finds a job. Yu Meijuan snapped, he'll ruin us one day. Luo Xin added seriously, Dad, Mom is right. There's only a month and a half left in the year. If we kick him out now, we can find a new tenant. If he runs away after the new year, who will we collect those 10,000 plus yuan from? The room went silent. Mother and daughter both thought the same. You were just a poor, fleeing tenant. Just then the doorbell rang suddenly. Luo Balloon looked at his daughter. Xin, go open the door. Luo Xin got up reluctantly and opened it. You stood there with a confident smile. Seeing you made her frown. Chen Royan, what are you doing here? Before she could say more, Luo Balloon's voice came from inside. I invited him, Chen Royan. Are you going to have a few drinks with me? Yu Meijuan yelled angrily, then drink, I won't cook. You two can eat air. Luo Balloon ignored his wife and smiled. Come on in, Xiao Chen, and sit down. Luo Xin smiled and walked in. Hello, Uncle Luo. Hello, Auntie Yu. Luo Balloon patted the seat next to him. Sit here. Yu Meijuan turned her face away. She looked at you, you're early. Dinner isn't ready yet. Then she said to her daughter, Xin, why are you standing there? Get Xiao Chen some tea. Luo Xin immediately refused. I'm no maid. The atmosphere became tense. Her hatred and disdain were clear, but you didn't care at all. Looking at Luo Balloon, you said with a light smile, Uncle Luo, I didn't come here to eat dinner today. Amidst their surprised stares, you said in a calm tone, I've come to pay my rent. Hearing this, Luo Balloon was stunned. Yu Meijuan and Luo Xin's eyes fixed on you. You're here to pay rent? Luo Balloon asked in disbelief. It hasn't even been half an hour. Where did you get the money so fast? You sat on the sofa beside them and smiled. Exactly. You trust me so much. How could I let you down? But Luo Balloon's eyes still held suspicion. Xiao Chen, you aren't playing a trick on me, are you? I said you could pay later, Uncle Luo. Just watch. Without saying anything else, you took out your phone and opened WeChat. You were about to transfer the money directly, but your finger suddenly stopped on the red packet icon. A thought flashed through your mind. Now I see why we became such good friends. Their affinity has reached the system's reward threshold. Although this time there would only be a tenfold return, there was no way you were skipping a system benefit. Without losing a second, you typed the amount and sent a red packet of 10,000. Uncle Luo, I've sent it. Please accept it. You calmly put your phone in your pocket. Luo Balloon opened WeChat with mixed trust and suspicion. Oh, a red packet? What's the difference between this and a direct transfer? But as soon as he opened the packet, his eyes bulged. This is 10,000 yuan. His voice changed. What? Yu Meijuan quickly grabbed the phone. A full 10,000 yuan. Seeing this, Luo Xin was also shocked. You only owed 2 months' rent, roughly 2,000 yuan, and you sent 10,000 straight up. The three of them stared at you like you were from another planet. Just as Luo Balloon accepted the red packet, the system's sweet voice echoed in your mind. System return successful. 100,000 yuan has been deposited into your account. Wow. Although this amount wasn't as large as the returns from sending red packets to beautiful girls, 100,000 yuan earned without effort was still a treasure. No, Xiao Chen, Luo Balloon's hands began to tremble. You only owed 2 months' rent. Why send 10,000? You couldn't tell him the truth, so you just smiled and said, Uncle Luo, how many times have I eaten at your house? How many times have I taken advantage of your hospitality? I should have paid this anyway. That may be, but come on, keep it. You cut him off. Then, looking at Luo Xin, you smiled. Sister Xin, will you make me a cup of tea? Absolutely. This time she replied happily, without a second thought, and ran to the kitchen. Then you looked at Auntie Yu. Auntie Yu, I want to drink to my heart's content with Uncle Luo today. Can you make something delicious? Her face lit up with a smile. She immediately turned to her husband and urged him to transfer money quickly, so she could head to the market for groceries. The whole family was suddenly busy attending to us. Seeing them rush around like that, you felt a deep sense of relief. But the moment the mother and daughter stepped out, the room's atmosphere shifted. Luo Balloon's face lost its smile. He looked incredibly serious. Tell me the truth, is this money entirely clean? Uncle Luo asked sternly. Seeing his nervousness, you replied with a slight smile. Don't worry at all, Uncle. This money is completely legal and hard-earned. Hearing this, Luo Balloon's face brightened. He laughed heartily. So tonight we shall have a grand feast. Downstairs, the landlady and her daughter were discussing the same thing. Lu Xin asked in surprise, Mom, Chen Lonian doesn't even have a job. Where did he get so much money? Mezuan replied nonchalantly, what's it to me? As long as he pays the rent on time, that's all that matters. But Lu Xin's curiosity didn't fade, Mom. What if he's the runaway son of some super rich family? Mezuan glared at her. Stop reading so many novels. Even though she was scolded, Lu Xin's curiosity about Chen Luonian grew even more. You woke up the next morning with a splitting headache. You'd drunk so much last night that you couldn't even remember how you reached your room. The moment you regained focus, you grabbed your Mobi. Opened your mother, Zhao Changrong's WeChat. The red packet system activated again. Recipient, Zhao Changrong. Intimacy level, 99 points. You were shocked, only 99. You had hoped your intimacy with your mother would reach 100. That 1-point difference seemed small, but the reward difference was massive. If it were 100, you'd get a 10,000-fold cashback. Meaning if you sent 1 million, you'd get 10 billion in return. But at 99 points, you could only get a 100-fold cash back. So, you were limited to sending a maximum of 1 million yuan as a red packet. You sighed. It's fine. Mom will be thrilled with this amount. Without delay, you sent the million yuan red. The situation at home was dire. Because of a 500,000 yuan debt, the family was preparing to sell their only livelihood, the cargo truck. Even you, your mother, suffering from leg pain, was even prepared to do manual labor. They had no idea that you, thousands of miles away, had tapped a button on your phone that was about to change their entire lives. Winter sunlight streamed through the window, yet the house remained gloomy. Your father, Chen Changjiang, sat by the stove, phone in his hand. His eldest brother was on the line, the one who had lent the family money for his own son's house down payment. He had made it clear. Return 500,000 before the new year, no matter what. After the call ended, Chen Changjiang stared at the food on the table, but he couldn't swallow a single bite. 500,000 was like a mountain, not to mention the truck installment due this month. If they paid it, they wouldn't have a penny left for the new year. Mother asked anxiously, what do we do now, Chen Chang? Remained silent for a long time. Then his gaze fell on the white truck parked outside. It was the family's only source of income. Finally, he said heavily, if we can't find the money, we sell the truck. I'll work as a driver for someone else later. At least we'll have 2 meals a day. Hearing this, Mother's heart shattered. She whispered, if needed, I'll go to the city and work at a construction site. Chen Changjiang flared up immediately. Your legs aren't in a condition for manual labor. Don't ever say that again. Amidst this despair, a WeChat notification suddenly rang out. Mother tried to force a smile as she picked up the phone, thinking perhaps her daughter, Chen, had sent some pocket money. But the moment she saw the screen, she froze. The red packet sender wasn't your sister, but you. You who had been out of college for over a year, and were always considered the quiet, invisible son. Your father looked at the screen. He remembered you hadn't come home last year and only sent a little money. Mother had said you likely wouldn't return this year either. The couple looked at each other, despair etched on their faces. They felt another new year would pass without the family together. Mother sighed, setting the phone aside without opening the packet. She thought you were struggling out there, barely making ends meet. She didn't want to take your hard-earned money. But Chen Changjiang, with a faint smile, picked up the phone and said, "Hey, he sent it. It's probably just 10, 20, or maybe 100 yuan." Saying this, he opened the packet without thinking. The next second, he stood frozen, as if struck by lightning. He stood rooted to the spot, his expression alarmed mother. She rushed over and glanced at the screen. The next moment she also gasped, her eyes widening in shock. The amount on the screen was no small change. It was a full 1 million yuan. Chen Changjiang, overcome with joy and disbelief, couldn't find the words. Our son is doing so well out there. Sent 1 million in one go. The sheer joy rendered them speechless for a moment. But soon after your mother's face grew serious. Worry outweighed the joy. The same question haunted her. Did my son take a wrong path to earn this much? With trembling hands, she immediately dialed your number. Meanwhile, you were watching the new system notification in your mind, a smile spreading across your lips. As soon as the 1,000,000 yuan red packet was accepted, the system's cashback hit your account instantly. 200 million, 10 million yuan. You checked the system stats. Intimacy with mom, 99 points. Which meant that sending 1 million yuan gave you a 100-fold cashback. Combined with your existing balance, you now had 200 million, 10 million yuan. But this was just the beginning. You immediately thought of your father. You were certain his intimacy level matched your mother's. If you sent him a red packet, another huge cashback would be yours. You started calculating in your head, realizing your total net worth would soon reach 300 million yuan. Just then, your phone rang. On the screen, Mother Zhao Changrong's name was flashing. You weren't nervous at all. You had already anticipated her call after receiving such a massive red packet. Besides, you had already prepared the answer to this question. You picked up. Before you could speak, Mother's serious voice came through. "Luonian, where did you get this money?" Her tone lacked its usual warmth, replaced by deep concern. You replied calmly, "Mom, I started a small business." Mother was silent for a few moments. "Oh, so how much have you made?" You smiled, "Quite a lot." You intentionally didn't reveal the real amount. After a long silence, Mother's worry slowly turned into joy. She asked in a soft voice, "So, you're coming home for the new year, right?" Hearing this, your heart swelled. You had been avoiding home due to poverty, but now everything had changed. You said without hesitation, "Yes, Mom, absolutely. I'll be home in 2 or 3 days." Just then, your father's booming voice came through, "Hey, son, you sent a red pack to your mom, but not your old man?" You laughed, "Hang on, Dad, sending it now." But your father quickly interjected, No, I'm just joking. Keep it yourself. Save it to help your sister later." You remained firm, "Dad, I won't play favorites." After a brief pause, you added confidently, "From now on, the responsibility for this whole family is mine." Silence hung on the other end for a moment, then laughter echoed. "My son has truly grown up." The call cut off, but your own words kept echoing in your ears. "The responsibility for this home is mine." For the first time, you felt the true pride of being a son and a responsible man. You immediately opened your father's WeChat. The system panel appeared again. Without delay, you sent him 1 million yuan too. I sent that red packet and made a quiet resolution. I would keep sending money monthly. If the system had no limits, I would have sent millions in one go. As my father accepted it, the system notification chimed again. With that new cashback, my total wealth hit 30,100,000 yuan. Seeing such a massive figure on my phone screen, I took a deep breath. This was enough for now. Time to start living a little more comfortably. I was just getting ready to head out when my phone rang again. I was surprised to see the caller. It was Lu Xin, Lu Bailun's daughter. Not only was she his daughter, but she was also incredibly beautiful and charming. Yet we rarely spoke. Curious, I answered the call. "Hello?" A sweet voice drifted through. "Hello, Longjin brother, are you home?" Her tone was sugary, almost as if she were trying to sound intentionally intimate. I replied that I was indeed at home. She quickly chimed in, saying she was bored and wanted to go out. Would I like to join her? I realized she was inviting me out. Even though I understood the situation, I acted like I needed a moment to think before saying that I actually needed to buy a few things, so I could join her. "Great, wait for me. I'll change and be right there." With that, she hung up. Staring at the darkened screen, I couldn't help but smile. If you're going shopping, having a beautiful girl along is hardly a drawback. With that thought, I opened Lu Xin's WeChat profile and activated the red packet system. In the next moment, the system's data panel appeared before me, but the figure displayed made my smile vanish instantly. Intimacy level 18. Seeing that number on the system left me stunned. Intimacy level only 18. I knew we weren't close, but the score was surprisingly low. Still, it sparked a different kind of excitement within me. I wondered why not spend the whole day with her and see if I could push that intimacy from 18 to over 90. Meanwhile, at Lu Bailun's place, Lu Xin was fully prepared. She'd done her makeup, wore her best clothes, and smiled confidently in the mirror. This invitation wasn't just for fun. She wanted to verify one thing. If her suspicion from yesterday was correct and I really was the hidden heir to a wealthy family, she wouldn't let this opportunity slip away. A while later, she came downstairs and saw me standing by the road. She smiled and walked toward me with quick steps. I watched her approach. Despite the chilly wind, her beauty and charm were undeniable. I smiled and said, "You dressed up quite a bit today. I hope you aren't planning to never make it home tonight." Lu Xin giggled, asking if I intended to kidnap her. I thought to myself, kidnapping? You're a bit naive. But keeping a serious face, I replied, "To be honest, that thought did cross my mind." She feigned mock alarm, pulling her clothes close, saying, "Then I should call the police." I burst out laughing. Guess we haven't decided who is the hunter and who is the prey. Lu Jin smiled too, remarking that I must be a veteran player. We laughed as we headed to the road. Lu Jin asked what I was planning to buy today. I answered calmly, a car. She was stunned, thinking to herself that if I were truly buying a luxury car, I must be incredibly wealthy. If it's just an ordinary car, then perhaps my guess was wrong. Trying to sound composed, she asked, what kind of car are you thinking of? I smiled and asked, you know a lot about cars? She started counting on her fingers. Rolls-Royce, Porsche, Lamborghini, Maybach, and Bentley. I nodded, saying it was impressive for a girl to know so many luxury brands. She smiled, saying it was her dream to own one someday. I asked which one she liked best, and she replied without hesitation, the Porsche 911. There's nothing like driving with the top down on a sunny day. I asked which one she disliked, and after a moment of thought she said, Bentley. As we talked, we reached the road. I told the driver where to go while Lu Jin sat in the back. The driver asked for the destination, and I said in a calm tone, the Bentley showroom. Lu Jin's smile froze for a moment at those words. If he's really buying a Bentley, then he must be from a wealthy family. The taxi sped through the city traffic. About an hour later, we pulled up in front of the Bentley showroom and stepped out. As we walked inside, a female sales consultant approached with a smile. Sir, madam, are you here to browse cars? I looked at her nameplate. It was Lu Chan. I smiled and said that beauty and talent deserve a warm welcome. She blushed slightly, saying, Sir, you're teasing me. Then looking at Lu Jin with a smile, she added, though, the real beauty is your companion. Lu Jin looked embarrassed. I said, show us the cars first. Certainly. Lu Chan led us inside. We had barely entered the showroom when a familiar voice came from behind. Chen Longjian. I turned to see two old acquaintances standing there. Wu Keqing and Zhang Li. Zhang Li asked in surprise, come here too? I looked at both of them with a faint smile and said, wow, I didn't expect to run into you two here. Wu Keqing was my former boss. Zhang Li was a colleague at the same company and had an illicit affair with him. After graduating, I worked at Qing Shui Company, and Zhang Li joined our team. At first, things were normal, but later, whenever we worked on projects together, Zhang Li took all the credit and rewards. Eventually, I decided to address this injustice and talk to Wu Keqing. I only went to ask for the rewards I had earned, but Wu Keqing sided with Zhang Li and fired me without any reason. Because of this, I had been unemployed for 3 months. At first, I didn't understand why this happened, but later, through some former colleagues, I learned the truth. Wu Keqing and Zhang Li were having an affair. Knowing this, everything became clear. I realized why I had been made the scapegoat. The sales consultant Liu Chan was also listening to us. Both onlookers watched us like a drama. Zhang Li's face changed instantly as she narrowed her eyes and glared at me. Wu Keqing added in a cold voice, stop talking nonsense without proof. Then he looked me up and down and said with a scornful smile, for a poor man like you, this showroom is just a place to wander around. You can't buy anything anyway. Zhang Li smirked sarcastically. Oh, Chen Longjian is still young. Today, he might not have the means to buy a car, but if he works hard for several decades, she paused, then laughed. Maybe he'll give up the dream of buying such a car altogether. As soon as she finished, Wu Keqing burst out laughing. Zhang Li, you're absolutely right. He looked at me with disdain and said, better stop wasting this beautiful salesgirl's time. Besides, you aren't going to buy a car, anyway. He smiled mockingly. How much money could a poor boy from the countryside possibly have? He had no idea that the young man standing before him was now a multimillionaire. I asked calmly, sir, how do you know I can't buy this car? He laughed, I know you well. No money, no connections, no support. What will you do in life? Despite his constant taunts, there wasn't a trace of anger on my face. I just shook my head and said, it seems your ability to judge people is really quite poor. Either you haven't learned how to recognize the right person, I looked toward Zhang Li, or you have mistaken trash for a diamond. Zhang Li's face turned bright red with rage. What did you say? I spread my hands and smiled. Do I need to explain that too? I'm talking about you. She moved toward me in anger, but Wu Keqing stopped her immediately. He understood. I was deliberately provoking them. If they threw a punch, the fault would be entirely theirs. Then, Wu Keqing looked at me coldly. I smiled and suddenly said, by the way, your wife? Think I should tell them about our relationship? Wu Keqing turned pale, panicked, and snapped. Don't talk nonsense. There's no such thing between us. You're just making it up. Well, it's more serious than I thought, I said through gritted teeth. Luanian, don't push your luck. I tossed my hand carelessly onto his shoulder. Threatening is better than, how will you answer? Ignoring them completely, I pointed at the purple Bentley, parked in the middle of the showroom. Let's see that purple car first. She beamed with joy. Yes, sir, come this way. Lu Chen followed me. She still doubted my true status, but my confidence seemed entirely genuine. Let's see if he's actually rich or just putting on a show. Behind me, Wu Keqing and Zhang Li glared at my back. Stomping her feet, Zhang Li hissed, sir, are we just letting them go? Wu Keqing gave a cold laugh. Don't worry. When it's time to pay and he's broke, he'll lose all that arrogance. Let's watch how this drama unfolds. They followed behind. I stopped in front of the purple Bentley and asked for the price. Before Lu Chen could answer, Zhang Li chimed in. It's about 35 million on the road. She wanted me to be intimidated by the price, but I just nodded. Fine, I want this one. The purple looks the most beautiful. Lu Chen's eyes lit up. Lu Chen nearly jumped for joy. Yes, sir. I'll go grab the purchase agreement right now. She ran off to get the paperwork. Zhang Li sneered. Wow, quite the act you're putting on. Where will you get 35 million from? I bet he can't even cover the down payment. Wu Keqing mocked. Just a pathetic stunt to save face. Let's see. She couldn't listen to this anymore. She leaned in and whispered, "Brother Luonian, why don't you answer them?" I smiled softly and replied, "If a dog bites you, do you bite it back?" Holding back a laugh, she said, "Brother, you have such sharp comebacks." Seeing this, Wu Keqiang and Zhang Li's faces fell. They secretly thought, just wait until he has no money. Let's see how his pride shatters. But I didn't even look their way. I knew that paying, rather than arguing, would be the most effective response. Soon, Lu Chen returned with the contract. She smiled, "Sir, will you pay the full amount at once or take a loan?" I didn't waste a second. Paying in full. Why would I ever need a loan? Hearing this, Zhang Li, "So the full payment act begins?" Zhang Li laughed loudly. "You'll pay the full price? That's over 35 million rupees, not even 350, let alone the real price." The QR code was on the counter. I pulled out my phone, scanned it, and entered my password. Beep. Transaction successful. It all happened so smoothly, it was as if nothing had even occurred. The entire 35 million was transferred in a single instant. The cashier handed me the thick receipt with both hands. "Sir, here is your receipt." I took it and said, "Thank you." Beside me, Lu Chen was completely stunned. This wasn't a small amount, 35 million, and I hadn't hesitated for even a moment. Her heart was pounding so hard it felt like it might jump out of her chest. She kept staring at my face, thinking, I won't let this man belong to anyone else at any cost. Meanwhile, Wu Keqiang and Zhang Li's faces had drained of all color. Moments ago they were mocking me. Now it felt like someone had slapped them hard in public. Zhang Li was shaking with jealousy. Her nails dug into her palms as she clenched her fists. How? How is this possible? He actually paid the full amount and bought the car. His face had turned black with rage. He knew his company's annual net profit was barely 30 million. To save on taxes, he had to list even his personal expenses under the company. But me, I had dropped 35 million in cash without a second thought. This could only mean one thing. My total net worth was many times greater than the cost of this car. 3 months ago, I was just a common employee to him. He could cut my bonus whenever he wanted and toy with my future. But today, my financial power was crushing his entire existence. This gap was impossible for him to bear. Soon, the keys to the new Bentley were handed to me. I spun them on my finger and casually walked toward Wu Keqiang and Zhang Li. With a faint smile on my lips, I said, Sir, who was saying just a moment ago that I only came to look and couldn't afford to buy. I tossed the keys into the air. The keys spun and landed back in my hand. The metallic sound echoed through the showroom. I held them up. Take a good look. Keys to a 35 million Bentley. The smile vanished from my face. I looked at Wu Keqiang sharply. If I remember correctly, your Mercedes S-Class is still being paid off on a loan, isn't it? His face hardened even more. I continued, even as a boss, you should be driving a Rolls-Royce by now. If you're short on cash, don't hesitate to borrow from me. Old friends, so I'll charge a low interest rate today. I turned to look at Zhang Li. Contempt was clear in my eyes. Zhang Li, after all these years of living off others, can you even afford a single tire for this car? Her face turned red with shame and anger. I gave a cold laugh. Doesn't look like it. No worries, you're still young. Keep relying on people to scrape some money together. Maybe one day, you'll have enough. I didn't even look at them again. I signaled Lu Chen. We walked toward the purple Bentley. I started the car. The engine's powerful growl echoed through the showroom. Following Lu Chen's directions, I drove the new car out. Wu Keqiang and Zhang Li watched with burning eyes. In a few moments, the purple car sped away, vanishing from their sight. Only their jealousy and humiliation remained. Zhang Li stomped her feet. Sir, did you see what he did to us? You have to get revenge. Wu Keqiang's anger was intense, but he wasn't a fool. A man who could buy a 35 million car without blinking must have massive backing. If he really offended someone that influential, his small company could be ruined in seconds. He gritted his teeth. First, find out how he suddenly became so rich in just 3 months. Just then, the sales consultant, Liu Chen, approached them. Sir, which car did you like? Wu Keqiang snapped, nothing. He walked out of the showroom quietly with Zhang Li. Lu Chen muttered behind them. Turns out, those were the only poor customers looking around. Meanwhile, I had taken my luxury car onto the city's busy streets. In my second year of college, I had gotten my license and drove plenty during breaks. Today, at just 24 years old, driving this magnificent Bentley, I felt like the most attractive person on the road. It had only been a year since I graduated, and my first car was a Bentley worth over 30 million. The feeling was truly incredible. Sitting in the passenger seat, Luotian looked flushed with excitement. Sitting on the luxury car's soft leather seats felt 1,000 times better than a taxi. When the light turned red, I stopped the car easily and looked at her, smiling. Remember earlier when you said you didn't like Bentleys at all? I asked with a mischievous grin. So, do you like it now? She nodded without a second thought. I smiled. Looks like money really does change people's tastes. The light turned green. I pressed the accelerator and the car surged forward like lightning. The engine's raw power gave us a slight jolt. A while later, Luotian asked curiously, Brother Luonian, those 2 people at the showroom seems like you have an old grudge with them? I held the steering wheel and explained that the woman was a former colleague and the man was my old boss. I briefly told her about the injustice I faced, how my bonus was snatched away, and you were finally fired. Listening to it all, Luotian snapped in anger. Those 2 are such scumbags! You laughed. It was the first time you'd heard her curse. Luotian blushed, smiling suddenly. Remembered something? Hey Longnian, didn't you say you'd tell Keqing's wife about him and Zhang Li? Hearing that, you tapped your thigh lightly. Oh right, I almost forgot about that. A mischievous glint appeared in your eyes. Just get her phone number. Then I'll prepare a gift for Catching that he'll never forget for as long as he lives. The 1 million you sent your father was meant for old debts, but you had no idea that money was about to cause a massive stir at your uncle's house. Your aunt, Li Hongying, was drowning in money worries. Her son's wedding was set, but they were still about 700,000 or 800,000 short for the down payment on a home. On top of that, a huge dowry was needed. She was taking all her anger out on your uncle, claiming your father still owed them 500,000. But your uncle, helpless, insisted your father truly had no money. They were still arguing when your father arrived at the door. He walked in smiling, but realized the mood instantly. It's not there, your aunt said coldly. Your father replied, I'm here to give you the money today. Your uncle was stunned. On the phone this morning, your father had said it wasn't possible. How did he get the money in just a few hours? Your aunt's eyes lit up. She asked skeptically, Are you really here to give us money? Your father nodded. Yes, first, Longyan sent me some money. As soon as your aunt heard that, her face brightened. She quickly added, The down payment money should be kept with me. Give it to me first. Without thinking, your father transferred 500,000. Once she got it, she asked where it came from. Your father said proudly, Longyan sent 10,000 to both of us elders. 2 million? Your uncle was stunned. He sat silently for a moment, then said gravely, Little brother, I need to talk to you. He opened up about his trouble. Even with that 500,000, they were still a few 100,000 short for the down payment. The biggest headache was the wedding costs. Your father immediately said, Brother, I've watched Long grow up since he was a kid. His wedding, how could I turn away? But then he added, Changrong and I only have 1.5 million combined. Hearing that, your uncle's hope shattered again. He remembered when your father moved out, he had lent him 500,000 despite his wife's objections. Wouldn't the younger brother help now in a crisis? Your father then said, Let's do this. I'll call Longyan one more time. Getting another 2 million from him might not be a big deal. Another 2 million? Your uncle asked, shocked. Are you serious? Just then your aunt brought tea. Your uncle said excitedly, The worries are over. Your aunt asked immediately, Where will the money come from? Your uncle smiled. Little brother says it's no trouble for Longyan to give another 2 million. Your aunt. I want to hear this too. Your father called you without delay and put it on speaker. As soon as you answered, he explained everything and asked if you could spare 2 million for your cousin's wedding. You laughed as soon as you heard it. Wow. The wedding is finally happening. Then you said something that left your uncle and aunt speechless. Dad, tell uncle and cousin that. He hesitated. We only need a loan. We'll pay it back later. But you cut him off. Uncle, when you helped our family, you never calculated the costs like that. Don't worry about the math. I said I'd cover the wedding, so I will. I'm sending Dad 3 million right now. If that's not enough, I'll send more later. 3 million? Your uncle was still fixated on the numbers, but you had to reassure him you'd handle it. Within a minute of hanging up, a message hit your father's phone, notifying him of a 3 million transfer, along with your note. Dad, give this to Uncle, so the wedding preparations go smoothly. If that's not enough, just let me know. Your father immediately transferred the 3 million to your aunt's account and smiled. Brother, sister-in-law, no more money worries now, right? Your aunt checked the balance on her phone. Seeing such a large sum, pure joy radiated from her face. She said emotionally, Little brother, honestly, your son Longyan really has turned out well. You smiled and said, because your husband gave all the credit and bonuses for my hard work to that Zhang Li. Not only that, he even fired me. Saying that you didn't care about what was going to happen next. Meanwhile, Wang Huihui was lost in deep thought after hanging up. Actually, she had long suspected Catching of having an affair. There had been cracks in their relationship for a long time, but facing the truth was still hard to swallow. However, she didn't make a scene. There was a more important matter. She started wondering how to get more shares under her own name. If she became the largest shareholder, Catching would be completely under her control. After thinking it over, she called Catching. Huihui, what is it? Hearing Catching's careless tone, her suspicion deepened, but Wang Huihui kept her cool. Lao Wu, I'm getting very bored sitting at home. I'm thinking of coming to the company to take on some responsibilities. Catching immediately objected. What will you do coming to the company? It's too much work and exhaustion. He knew well that if Wang Hui showed up, his relationship with Zhang Li wouldn't stay hidden for long. But Wang Huihui stood her ground this time. No, my hands and feet are stiff from sitting at home. Catching still was not ready. I'm managing the company fine. You stay home and rest. This time Wang Huihui's voice turned hard. Lao Wu, I'm not asking for your advice. I'm telling you, I'm a shareholder in this company. Working here is my right, and you have no right to stop me. She hung up. Catching's face dropped. Zhang Li asked nervously. Catching said gravely, Wang Huihui is coming to work at the company. We have to be even more careful now. Zhang Li panicked. Does she know about us? Catching, whether she knows or not, we have to stay alert. Hearing this, Zhang Li's face fell. So what about my promotion? Catching said, put it off for now. Don't make any moves or it might get exposed. Just then, in Shanghai village, Chen Xiaolong arrived at his ancestral home by car, with his fiancée Shi Feifei. As they stepped out, the whole family welcomed them warmly. Inside, a piping hot beef hot pot was ready on the table, and the aroma filled the room. As they started eating, Chen Xiaolong asked curiously, Dad, is the down payment for my house settled? His father smiled and said, This time the full credit goes to your second uncle. Chen Xiaolong was surprised. Did second uncle give me his 500,000? Li Hongying smiled. No, he called Longyan too. Then, giving a proud thumbs up, she said, honestly, Long Nian turned out very capable. As soon as he knew about your wedding, he sent money. 3 million? Chen Xiaolong was completely stunned. Beside him, Shi Feifei stopped eating. A thought immediately crossed her mind. If they have 3 million, couldn't the dowry be raised from 1.8 million to 2.8 million? She kept it to herself though. A moment later she asked, who is this Long Nian? Chen Xiaolong. He's our cousin, second uncle's son. Shi Feifei nodded but memorized the name. A person who could send 3 million without a second thought couldn't be an ordinary guy. Meanwhile, Chen Xiaolong also asked his second uncle, Uncle, what does Long Nian actually do? How does he have so much money? Chen Changjiang smiled. To tell you the truth, Xiaolong's father said gravely, Xiaolong, this 3 million is a loan. We have to pay it back later. Chen Xiaolong nodded immediately. I know, Feifei and I will pay this amount back together. The chef chuckled to herself. If anyone was going home, it had to be you. After dinner, you two took 20 lakhs for the down payment. You returned to the city that night. Back in Nanjing, after a movie and dinner, Luoxin checked her phone and said, Luoning, it is getting late. We should head home, right? You smiled while swirling your coffee. Which home? She blinked. Ours, obviously. You shook your head. It is too late. Don't go back tonight. I will book a hotel room instead. She leaned in smiling. You are booking a room for me? Where will you stay? You answered casually. Since I am the one booking it, it is mine too. You woke up the next morning. You were lying on the bed without a care. Luoxin was still fast asleep, curled up with one long leg draped over you. You gently moved her leg and sighed in relief. Thank God I didn't lose my cool. Suddenly the system panel appeared. Red packet recipient Luoxin. Near you frowned. At 94 points of intimacy, the system only allowed sending a 1 lakh rupee red packet, even though the maximum limit was 10 lakhs. But you had other plans. You wanted that 100 times return available at 96 points of intimacy. This 1 lakh didn't look appealing anymore. You had a red packet balance of 1 crore rupees total, so you had to spend it carefully. After all, mid-level and high-level features would unlock soon. This money had to be spent wisely. You decided that anyone with intimacy below 96 wouldn't get a single rupee from you anymore. You had one goal. If you were going to send one, it had to be to someone with 100 points. Sending 10 lakhs there could return up to 100 crores. 94 isn't enough, you muttered, locking your phone. You looked at Luoxin sleeping soundly next to you. A mischievous thought sparked in your mind. You both left the hotel by afternoon, but she was moving very slowly. She fell behind after just 2 steps. You turned back asking, what is wrong, you okay? She glared at you. You have the nerve to ask? This is all your fault. You offered support and said sorry. I got a little carried away last night. Could not control myself. She showed a hint of annoyance. Well, at least you admit your mistake. You both reached the elevator slowly. 2 hotel receptionists watched you go and giggled. One said, being young is something else. The other laughed, yeah, mine doesn't even last a minute. A young staffer nearby just smiled quietly. You reached the parking lot, helped Luoxin into the car, and took the driver's seat. Let me take you home. She shook her head immediately. No, I cannot go home yet. She gave you a look of complaint. If I go back like this, what will I tell my parents? You smiled mischievously. Then why not stay at the hotel for a few more days? Luoxin shook her head vigorously. Absolutely not. If I stay any longer, I will die of exhaustion. After a moment, she said, drop me at my best friend's house. You asked for the address. About 20 minutes later, the car stopped outside Baiyun Residential Society. Now Luoxin was walking quite normally. You asked in surprise, are you okay now? She glared. Okay? Hardly. I just don't want to be embarrassed in front of my friend. Then she pointed at the gate. That girl in the pink nightsuit. That is my friend. You looked over. She was quite beautiful. You couldn't help but stare. Luoxin immediately said in a sour tone, what is it? You like what you see? You smiled. Wow, you caught me fast. Luoxin pretended to be angry, but deep down, she didn't mind. You asked, what is her name? Luoxinxi. Nice name. Just then, Luoxinxi couldn't see Luoxin, so she called her. Sin, where are you? I cannot see you. Luoxin opened the car door and waved. Chenxi, over here. The moment Luoxinxi saw the car, she froze. She hung up and walked toward them. Luoxin, you came in this car? You stepped out and smiled. Hello, beautiful. Luoxinxi smiled back. Hello. Then she pulled Luoxin aside and quietly asked, who is this? Your boyfriend? Luoxin shook her head. No, he is our tenant. A tenant? Luoxinxi didn't believe it for a second. She whispered, at your house? Luoxin didn't give much of an explanation. She just said she wanted to stay at her place for 2 days. Luoxinxi agreed, but as she picked up Luoxin's bags, her eyes fell on the way Luoxin was moving. She understood everything in a flash. A knowing smile spread across her lips. Watching them go inside, you climbed back into the car. You checked Luoxin's WeChat. The system data panel popped up. Red packet recipient, Luoxin. Intimacy 96 points. You were slightly stunned. The intimacy had actually jumped from 94 to 96. This was the threshold where the 100 times return began. Without a second thought, you sent a 10 lakh rupee red packet. Then you started the car and left. Meanwhile, Luoxin had just reached her friend's house when Luoxinxi rushed over. Tell me the truth, where were you last night? Luoxin slumped onto the sofa and sighed. Not just last night, even this morning. He wouldn't let me rest. Hearing this, Luoxinxi burst into laughter. Wow, his energy is truly impressive. After the laughter died down, she asked curiously, tell me, are you two really not boyfriend and girlfriend? Luoxin shook her head sadly. Luoxinxi was even more surprised. If you aren't together, then how did this happen? Luoxin pointed to the expensive branded items in the room and said, he is so handsome, and on top of that he buys me such expensive gifts. Tell me, who could resist that? Luoxin pulled out her phone. She saw the red packet you sent. She immediately showed the screen to Luo Chenxi. Look, he sent me another red packet. Luo Chenxi pouted dismissively. One red packet won't be much. Maybe a few hundred or a few thousand rupees. You spent the whole night with him. Luoxin smiled and opened the packet. As soon as she saw the 6-digit amount, she stayed silent. Gasping, her scream startled Luo Chenxi. Xin, what happened? Luoxin showed her the phone with trembling hands. Chenxi, look quickly. How much did he send me? Luo Chenxi stared at the screen. How much could it be to surprise you this much? But as soon as she saw the figure, she was speechless. 10 lakhs. They both fell silent for a moment. Even their annual earnings probably weren't that much. And here, one red packet was more than a year's wages. Luo Chenxi asked in disbelief, why is he sending you this much money? Luoxin nodded. Yesterday he bought me 6 lakhs worth of stuff and today he sent 10 lakhs. Suddenly she grabbed Luo Chenxi's hand. Chenxi, do you think Chen Luoning really likes me? Otherwise why would he spend more than 15 lakhs on me? Luo Chenxi smiled. I think so too. Luoxin asked again, but if he likes me, why hasn't he asked me to be his girlfriend yet? Luo Chenxi teased her. This is called winning a heart by playing hard to get. Look, you are thinking about him all the time now. Luoxin's cheeks turned red, but she said stubbornly, yes, until he proposes to me himself. Luo Chenxi leaned in laughing. Seriously? If he asks you out again, will you refuse? Luoxin went quiet for a moment at that question. Luo Chenxi smiled. I knew you wouldn't be able to say no. Meanwhile, you were driving smoothly down the road. The intimacy figure for Luoxin was still on your mind. You didn't expect that just sending money could boost intimacy. The total cash back from the system had reached 4 crores 10 lakhs. Suddenly, you remembered your younger sister Chen Qingqing. You called her yesterday. You called her immediately. Hello? Oh, big brother, you laughed. Wow, such a sweet tone today. Chen Qingqing laughed too. It is all thanks to your red packets. You joke, true. She called me brother so sweetly. I got straight to the point. Picking you up at college tomorrow. Free after class? Chen Qingqing replied. Classes end at 5:30. Let's grab dinner then. Next day at the Nanjing University of Electronic Technology, a professor glanced at his watch. Has everyone finished the assignment? The class representative stood up. Yes, sir. Everything is in your inbox. The professor smiled satisfied. Good. I hope no one just copy-pasted this time. His eyes drifted to Chen Qingqing. On the front row, Fang Yunyan immediately spun around, sneering. Chen Qingqing, you always borrow laptops for assignments. Don't you feel ashamed? Lu Xiaoyu, sitting beside her, shot back. Fang Yunyan, she didn't use mine this time. Fang Yunyan didn't care. If you don't own a computer, go to an internet cafe. Stop bothering others. Chen Qingqing stood up abruptly. People with dirty minds see filth everywhere. She pointed a finger. Say that again if you dare. Chen Qingqing looked her dead in the eye, fearless. Fine, listen up. I said your mouth is filthy, Fang Yunyan. She gritted her teeth in rage. The professor shouted from the podium. What is this? Fight after class. Fang Yunyan glared and slumped into her seat. Chen Qingqing remained calm, not a hint of fear in her eyes. Just then the dismissal bell rang. Students rushed out. Chen Qingqing thought for a moment, then spoke quietly. She's just like that. Lu Xiaoyu looked at her, surprised. You're so beautiful, your brother must be handsome too. Chen Qingqing scrunched her nose, joking. I think he's the only one in our family who brought our average down. Lu Xiaoyu's curiosity piqued. Now I really want to see him. Nearby, Fang Yunyan was still staring, her eyes burning with malice. Her roommates approached. Should we teach her a lesson? A cold smile touched Fang Yunyan's lips. Not yet, they're leaving campus. We'll tail them. See what they're up to when they're alone. Meanwhile, at the main gate you sat in your flashy purple luxury car, watching the crowd. 10 minutes passed, but no sign of Chen Qingqing. You wondered if she got held up. Just then, 2 girls approached your window. One with dyed hair smiled. Hey, handsome. Waiting for your girlfriend? You answered politely. No, just waiting for someone. She pulled out her phone. She made a face. Sorry, I don't know how to use a smartphone. Before you could finish, your car dashboard phone rang loudly. The girls' expressions soured. They walked away grumbling. Rich car, big ego. You ignored them and answered. Chen Qingqing's voice came through. Brother, I'm at the gate but don't see you. You scanned the entrance and spotted her instantly. See the purple car on your left? The voice came back. Yeah, I see it. I'm inside. Come over. You hung up. Chen Qingqing pocketed her phone and walked toward the car, bewildered. Lu Xiaoyu followed, confused. You were looking for your brother. Why head to that luxury car? Chen Qingqing wasn't sure herself. He said he's in that one. Your brother is in there? They reached the vehicle. As soon as she saw you in the driver's seat, she was stunned. Brother, how are you in this car? Lu Xiaoyu thought to herself. Her brother is actually quite handsome. You smiled. It's my car. Why wouldn't I be in it? Your car? Chen Qingqing's eyes widened. You bought this? You laughed. Why would I rent such an expensive car? She still couldn't believe it. She backed up, inspecting the car, then asked, Brother, what did this cost? Not much. About 35 million. 35 million? Chen Qingqing gasped. Lu Xiaoyu pointed at the logo. Qingqing, this is a luxury brand. That price is normal. Now Chen Qingqing believed you, looking at you in a new light. Brother, when you sent me that 10 lakh red packet, I knew you were rich, but not this rich. You smiled. Don't worry, your brother is only getting richer. You looked at Lu Xiaoyu. Not introducing your friend? This is Lu Xiaoyu, my best friend. You smiled. Nice to meet you, Lu Xiaoyu. I'm Chen Lunian. It's getting late. Hop in, let me take you both out to eat. Chen Qingqing agreed happily, and they climbed in. You had no idea. Fang Yunian and her friends had seen everything from the gate. It was like uncovering a massive secret. She screamed, "Quick, take photos!" She pulled out her phone. She snapped several shots of your car. While taking them, she whispered venomously, "They've both become mistresses for some rich guy. I'll make sure they can't show their faces on campus again." Nearby, Zhou Yang watched too. His face hardened with anger, he thought to himself. So, Chen Qingqing, you reject me but run off with a rich man? Meanwhile the purple luxury car sped through the city. You glanced at your sister, then checked the rearview mirror at Lu Xiaoyu. So, tell me you turned around. Xiaoyu, what are you craving? Lu Xiaoyu hesitated. Anything is fine. But Chen Qingqing, as usual, was carefree. Xiaoyu, don't be shy in front of my brother, she joked, looking at you. The only weird thing is his brain works differently, but otherwise, he's perfect. You countered immediately. Hey, watch it, Chen Qingqing. Do you still want me to transfer you money or not? She gave a small cough and changed her tone instantly. She smiled at Lu Xiaoyu. See, Xiaoyu, my brother is so handsome and kind, no need to be shy at all. Lu Xiaoyu thought you were just trashing him at college, but she smiled. Qingqing, honestly, I'll eat anything, I'm not picky. Okay, let's have crayfish. You nodded. Settled. We're having barbecue. Chen Lonian, Chen Qingqing yelled. Are you really buying me dinner? You laughed. Watch your attitude, Chen Qingqing. Understand who's making the decisions here. She shot back instantly. Fine, it's all my fault. When you were unemployed for 3 months, I shared my pocket money to feed you, and kept it from mom and dad. You gave up immediately. Fine, let's go for crayfish. Chen Qingqing's face lit up. That's more like it. You shook your head, helpless, but the love for your sister shone in your eyes. Meanwhile, Fang Yunian sent photos of your car to the class group, adding a long message. Look everyone, Chen Qingqing has become some rich man's mistress. Proof is at the college gate, she's in a luxury car. It's shameful to study with people like that. The group erupted. One student wrote, I saw it too. You was in the car too. Everyone's gossiping that they're with some rich guy. Someone wrote, she just bought a new laptop yesterday, now it makes sense where the money came from. Another added, girls like that should be kicked out of college. Reading the group messages, Fang Yuan smiled with satisfaction. Chen Qingqing, let's see how you save face now. Just then, a boy stood before her. Looking closer, it was Zhu Yang. Her heart raced. Zhu Yang, what are you doing here? He asked calmly. Why do you always target Chen Qingqing? Fang Yuan panicked, quickly saying, no, nothing like that. It's just that I hate how she ignores you and acts so high and mighty. After saying this, she shoved her phone toward him. Look, she has become the kept woman of some rich man. But Zhu Yang didn't even glance at the phone. Looking straight into her eyes, he said, so it bothers you because she ignores me? Does that mean you like me? Fang Yuan stayed silent for a few moments, then took a deep breath and said, yes, I like you. Zhu Yang smiled. Would you do me a favor? If you help me, I will make you my girlfriend. Hearing this, Fang Yuan was filled with joy. Tell me, what must I do? A cunning smile appeared on Zhu Yang's face. I want Chen Qingqing, will you help me with that? Hearing this, the color drained from Fang Yuan's face. She felt like she was about to ruin her own future. Seeing her hesitation, Zhu Yang asked, what happened? Don't want to? Fang Yuan's mind was in turmoil. She didn't answer immediately. Zhu Yang shrugged. If you don't want to, forget it. But don't tell anyone about today. Saying that, he turned to leave. Just then, Fang Yuan grabbed his hand. She said in a pained tone, Zhu Yang, I'm ready. I will help you. Zhu Yang smiled. That's the right decision. Meanwhile, your car was speeding through the city streets. You asked Chen Qingqing, your holidays are coming up soon, right? Chen Qingqing nodded yes. Finals are in 15 days. We'll go home right after exams. 15 days is plenty of time. You asked with a smile, if you want, I can stay here until the break, then we can head home together. Chen Qingqing was happy, and wouldn't have to worry about train tickets. You smiled and said, all right then, I'll just book a hotel near your college. Does that sound okay? She agreed without a second thought. At that moment, Luo Xiaoyu in the back seat glanced at her phone. Her expression changed completely. She said, panicked, Qingqing, something is wrong. Check the class group. Chen Qingqing asked in surprise, what happened? Though she didn't understand, she pulled out her phone and opened the group chat. But as soon as her eyes landed on the ongoing chat, her face went pale. She trembled with rage. Meanwhile, your car was stopped at a red light. You immediately sensed Chen Qingqing's sudden change in mood. You asked worriedly, what happened? Chen Qingqing, suppressing her anger, said, brother, someone has started slandering me. Slander? What actually happened? You asked in surprise. She handed you her phone without a word. See for yourself. You took the phone and read the group messages. The next moment, your face grew serious too. This Fang Yuan is playing dirty. Yes, she even wrote that I'm being kept by you for money, Chen Qingqing said angrily. Brother, let's go back to college right now. I need to confront her, otherwise I'll. The traffic signal turned green and cars behind started honking. You handed the phone back, drove forward and said calmly, Qingqing, no need to panic. First, let's go eat some crayfish. I have a solution for this problem. Wow, she asked in surprise. What solution? You smiled. Let's eat first, then I'll explain everything. Seeing your confidence, Chen Qingqing suppressed her anger and curiosity for now. Luo Xiaoyu in the back was also worried, as she appeared in the photos posted in the group. Now she also held a deep grudge against Fang Yuyan. A while later, you reached a restaurant. After placing the order, while waiting for the food, Chen Qingqing couldn't hold back. Brother, tell me now, what exactly is your plan? She looked at you. You smiled and asked, Ching Ching, what is your biggest wish right now? She said without thinking, for the truth to come out in front of everyone and for my innocence to be proven. And after that what about you Yan? Chen Ching Ching said in a pained tone, she must apologize to me in front of everyone. You nodded, she should apologize, but think about the consequences. And if she apologizes and denies it later, what will you do? Hearing this, Chen Ching Ching was silent for a while. Then she whispered, brother, I know her, she will never apologize. Your face remained serious. That's why we don't just need an apology. We need to ensure she pays the legal price for her actions. Chen Ching Ching's eyes lit up. Brother, tell me quickly, you shared your entire plan. If you just offer your own defense or if the college mediates, the matter will at best end in a compromise. But if you file a direct police complaint and sue her for false accusations and defamation, her own messages in the class group will become evidence against her. Hearing this, Luo Xiaoyu immediately took out her phone to look up the relevant legal information. Then she said, in cases of defamation and false accusations, there can be legal action, fines, or other penalties based on the circumstances. You looked at her and said, and one more thing, as soon as the police complaint is filed, the matter will spread throughout the college. After that, I will bring my own car to campus, and then everyone will realize the truth soon enough. But Fang Yuyan's record of false accusations will remain forever. If the college takes action, she will be the one disgraced, not you. Saying this, you looked into Chen Ching Ching's eyes with a serious tone. Always remember one thing, even if someone asks you to compromise, don't agree. She must face the legal responsibility for her actions. Chen Ching Ching nodded firmly. Brother, I understand now. I won't let her off so easily. You smiled with satisfaction. Now we don't need to rush to clear your name. Wait a little. When we respond, it will be in a way that no one dares to spread lies again. Hearing your words, Chen Ching Ching's mind calmed down completely. Just then, a large plate of steaming crayfish arrived at the table. A smile returned to her face. Brother, you are right. Let's eat first. If such delicious food is in front of you, letting it go cold is but you had no idea that this move would prove to be faster and more powerful than you expected. In just one night, the rumor spread about Chen Ching Ching throughout the college like wildfire. The college forum, social media, and various group chats were discussing nothing but this topic. The biggest question was, who exactly is the owner of this purple luxury car? Some were saying it must be some rich old man of 50 or 60, while others claimed it was the spoiled rich son of some big family who throws money away on girls. Although, there were a few who claimed they had seen the owner, and he was a young guy of 20 or 22. But their words were drowned out by the noise of the rumors. No matter how much people speculated, the true identity of the luxury car's owner remained unknown to everyone. The second big issue became, exactly how many girls is this rich man keeping with money? 1 or 2? Most people believed it was 2 girls, which made the rumor even more sensational. But then someone made an even more explosive move. Fang Yuyan suddenly received a photo from an unknown number. In that photo, it was clearly visible that Chen Ching Ching was entering a hotel room with a youth. Seeing this photo, Fang Yuyan jumped with joy. She didn't care who had sent it. For her, it was enough that she now had proof to prove the accusations spread against Chen Ching Ching were true. The very next moment, she didn't waste time and sent the photo to the group as well. Seeing the photo, the whole group erupted in chaos again. Wow, Fang Yuyan, are you a detective? How did you get such a photo? Fang, Yuyan replied in the group. I happened to see them by chance, so I followed them. How was I to know they were actually going to a hotel? Now everyone must have understood what kind of girl Chen Ching Ching really is. This photo was like the final nail in the coffin for the earlier rumors. The group exploded into chaos the moment that photo hit the chat. Is it true, Pang Yun? Are you a spy? How did you even get that shot? I just happened to be in the right place, I told them. I trailed behind them, never dreaming they were actually meeting up. Now everyone sees exactly what kind of girl Chen Ching Ching is. This picture was the final nail in the coffin for all those rumors. The college administration finally intervened. In the Faculty of Economics and Management at the Electronics and Technology University, Dean Zhao Meiling sat in her office, eyes glued to her screen. She watched the footage, her face tight with cold fury. As a fiercely traditional woman, she despised such scandals. To her, this wasn't just a student's private matter. It was a direct stain on the faculty's reputation. She snapped, I loathe students who trade their dignity for money. Such people have no place in this university. She called in the teachers. Her voice was ice cold as she demanded, You both know about the Chen Ching Ching incident, right? What have you uncovered so far? Pan Huayong sighed. We have statements from witnesses, and the case seems clear, Counselor Li Chunxiang added. Chen Ching Ching hasn't offered any defense, which suggests she's guilty. Zhao Meiling let out a chilling laugh. When you ruin the college's name, what defense is left? She took a sharp breath and demanded, What action should we take? After thinking, Pan Huayong suggested, we should condemn her in front of the entire college, impose disciplinary penalties, and warn her to end these relations immediately. Zhao Meiling remained silent, looking toward Li Chunxiang. He agreed, I support the counselor's stance. Yet Zhao Meiling just kept tapping her finger on the desk, thoughtful. Some students are demanding her expulsion. What do you both think of that? Pan Huayong looked nervous. Madam, expulsion is too harsh. Chen Ching Ching she is one of the 2 students in our class who doesn't even own a computer. Maybe she went down the wrong path out of pure desperation. Li Chunxiang quickly agreed. Yes, ma'am. She has always been hardworking. I believe she deserves one chance to correct her mistake. After hearing them out, Zhao Meiling slowly nodded, her expression softening. I see things differently. She paused, then said, you say her family is poor, but that is exactly why she should have guarded her dignity and self-respect even more. Her voice turned steel-hard. She should never have brought shame upon this entire faculty. Emphasizing every word, she declared, this must serve as a warning to all students. Anyone who chooses the wrong path loses the right to study at this university. Zhao Meiling's verdict was final. Pan Huayang and Li Chunxiang couldn't find the courage to argue. They lowered their heads in silence. Finally, Zhao Meiling said, this will be handled publicly. I want this to be an example for the entire university. Both nodded. Once outside, they stood in the hallway for a moment, letting out heavy sighs of helplessness. Pan Huayang muttered, I will go gather the class for the public announcement. Li Chunxiang looked deeply troubled. He whispered, and I will contact Chen Qingqing. I have to talk to her first. I worry she might do something drastic if she's in shock. Meanwhile, you were in a hotel far away. You stepped out of your room and knocked on the door. Chen Qingqing opened it, her face glowing with raw anger. Why so angry? Stepping inside, you saw Luo Xiaoyou sitting on the bed. You smiled and nodded in greeting. Chen Qingqing slumped onto the bed, shouting, and whose fault is this? It's yours. You made me take that hotel photo with Xiaoyou. Now Fang Yuan has leaked it to our class group. The whole college is gossiping about me, and yet you remain perfectly calm, offering a slight smile. What's so bad about that? Right now, you are the most talked about student in the entire college. Chen Qingqing pouted. I don't need this kind of fame. She quickly asked, brother, the news is everywhere. The damage is done. Can we strike back now? You said quietly, not yet. Wait a little longer. Wait for what? You smiled faintly. Wait for your college to contact you personally. That will prove your teachers are involved in this mess. You hadn't even finished your sentence when Chen Chen's mobile rang. She glanced at the screen, then looked at you in surprise. Brother, my counselor is calling. You smiled. It seems the time to strike back has arrived. Chen Qingqing took a deep breath. She filled her voice with sadness. Hello, madam. Li Chunxiang's soft voice came through. Qingqing, where are you? I'm out. Come to the college immediately. Your classroom as you signaled her to play along. Yes, we are all waiting for you. The moment the call ended, the sadness vanished from her face, replaced by anger and determination. You gave her a thumbs up. Excellent. Your acting is better than a movie heroine. Chen Qingqing wrinkled her nose. This time, I will make Fang Yuyuan pay the price. You nodded. Go, but remember, file your police complaint right in front of your teachers. I will stay at the hotel and wait for your call. Chen Qingqing grabbed Luo Xiaoyou's hand, and they both left quickly. You had just returned to your room when a message from Luo Xin arrived. Luo Xin, brother, I'm okay now. Can you drop me home in your car? You replied coldly, I'm go home by yourself. Meanwhile, at the Bayun apartment, Lu Qin and Lu Chenxi sat on the bed staring at their mobile screens. Lu Qin said excitedly, he replied, look quickly. They looked at the screen, but as soon as Luo Xin opened the chat, the smile faded from her face. Disappointed, she said, how can this be? Just yesterday, he bought me gifts and gave me money. He refused so coldly. Lu Chenxi put a hand on her shoulder, saying confidently, don't overthink it. This is just a trick to make you chase him. He wants you to worry about him. See, you are doing exactly what he wants. Confused, Luo Xin asked, so what should I do? Lu Chenxi smiled. It's easy. Use his own method against him. Don't send him any messages for 3 or 4 days. Then he will be the one getting anxious and will reach out to you. That way, you hold the reins to this relationship. Hearing this, Luo Xin cheered up and hugged Lu Chenxi. Right. Tell me, what should we eat? It's on me today, Lu Chenxi laughed. Oh, didn't you just get that 100,000 yuan red packet yesterday? You're treating us to a feast today. Meanwhile, at the Electronics and Technology University, the atmosphere in the classroom was unusually grave. Chen Qingqing's classmates slowly filed in to take their seats. Class teacher Pan Huayang stood on the platform. Anxiety was clear on his face. Suddenly Fang Yuyan walked in with 2 friends, smiling. She went straight to Pan Huayang and said confidently, Sir, for today's meeting? Pan Huayang frowned. Go take your seat first. We will talk once everyone arrives. A triumphant smile spread across Fang Yuan's face. She thought, it seems my plan worked perfectly. About 15 minutes later, all the students had arrived. Counselor Li Chunxiang also stepped onto the platform and whispered to Pan Huayang. Chen Huayang nodded. I spoke with her. She is on her way. Good, he sighed. Let's start the meeting. Once she arrives, the decision against her will be announced. Furthermore, he spoke in a loud voice. Everyone, please be quiet. This special class meeting was called because we need to discuss the incident involving Chen Qingqing. From the back of the classroom where Fang Yuyan sat, a smug smile appeared on her lips. She thought, let's see what the college does after a scandal this big. On the platform, Pan Huayang's voice sounded like a final verdict. He said in a grave tone, a while ago, Counselor Li and Dean Zhao Meiling discussed this matter in detail. This incident involving Chen Qing has negatively affected the university and the reputation of this faculty. After a pause, he looked across the entire class, then announced in a firm, clear voice. Therefore, the administration has decided that she is expelled from the university. Yes! Fang Yuyan clenched her fist in excitement and whispered, this is what should have happened. Chen Qingqing deserved to be kicked out of college. The classroom was a buzz of whispers until a cold, firm voice cut through the air. Moments later, Chen Qingqing entered. Luo Xiaoyu followed her in, and the room went dead silent. Everyone stared. Chen Qingqing's face was completely expressionless. Her sharp gaze landed straight on. You want to tear me apart, don't you? She walked to the podium, locking eyes with Pan Huayang. Pan, you're deciding to expel me? Pan Huayang looked grave. Ching Ching, watch your language and behavior. Chen Ching Ching gave a faint, chilling laugh that hushed the entire room. Behavior? Pan, answer me one question first. Fang Yunyao spread lies in the class group, claiming a rich man keeps me. Did the college investigate? Did you even try to find the truth, or did you just assume she was telling the truth from the start? Pan Huayang and Li Chenxiang were left speechless. The truth was, they hadn't conducted any independent investigation at all. She looked at Li Chenxiang. Madam, did it never cross your mind that Fang Yunyao might be lying? Li Chenxiang fell silent. She had no answer. Fang Yunyao suddenly stood up. Lies. So many classmates saw you getting into that luxury car. If no one is paying for you, then why were you in it? She looked at her, asking in a calm but sharp voice, is riding in an expensive car proof that I'm being kept? Fang Yunyao sneered. Then explain it. Why were you in the car, and why did you go to a hotel with that man last night? Chen Qingqing's voice grew even colder. You based your conclusion that I'm a mistress on just those two things? Fang Yunyao folded her arms. What, does your family have a relative with a 3.5 million luxury car? Chen Qingqing didn't answer. She turned to the two teachers. If this college can label me guilty based on one side's word without an investigation, then I'll have to prove my innocence myself. She pulled out her phone. The whole class watched, curious. She dialed a number no one expected, 110. As the call connected, she looked at Fang Yunyao and said clearly, Hello, I want to file a report. I've been slandered with malicious lies. The incident is at the University of Electronics and Technology. She hung up. The room went deathly quiet. Fang Yunyao was the first to recover. She sneered. Wasn't being humiliated enough? Now you're calling the police? Chen Qingqing didn't even look at her. She told Pan Huayang and Li Chenxiang, you two stay right here and wait for the police. Nervousness gripped the teachers. They suddenly realized they hadn't actually investigated the case. If Chen Qingqing turned out to be innocent, it would cast serious doubt on the reputation of the college and the entire faculty. Pan Huayang tried to smile. Chen Qingqing, maybe there's no need for the police. This is just a private dispute between students. If there's a misunderstanding, we can talk it out. Chen Qingqing raised an eyebrow, her gaze sharp as a blade. That question left both teachers speechless. She didn't give them a chance to recover. Her voice grew harder. To me, this isn't a small matter. This accusation is a stain on my life I can never erase. She turned, pointed at Fang Yunyao, and spoke every word clearly. That is why I won't just let the police investigate the truth. I am filing a formal lawsuit against Fang Yunyao for spreading lies and defamation. The class was stunned. Fang Yunyao's face lost its smile instantly, replaced by panic. She never imagined Chen Qingqing would strike back so hard. Meanwhile, as the class tension peaked, you were driving that purple luxury car, the center of the controversy, through campus without a care. The whispers of students standing by the road followed you. That guy's back, walking around so openly. Now that it's public, why hide? I wish someone would slander me like that. Hearing this, a faint smile tugged at your lips. Just then, your gaze landed on a beautiful long-haired girl standing by the road, tall, elegant, and striking. You pulled the car up right in front of her. You rolled down the window and said with a smile, Hello, can we introduce ourselves? The girl was startled, then smiled. I know who you are. Aren't you the one they say is keeping a student? You waved it off nonchalantly. Those are just rumors. You pulled out your phone. Let's add each other on WeChat. Once I clear these rumors, we'll talk again. She smiled and showed her QR code. You scanned it. What's your name? She answered in a literary tone. You sent your name too. As soon as she read it, she said, Chen Luonan, if you can't prove those rumors wrong, I'm blocking you immediately. You smiled and asked, Do you know the name of the girl they say I'm keeping? Su Qingya thought for a moment. Maybe Chen Qingqing? You nodded. You put your phone away, and my name is Chen too. With that, you started the car and drove off. All that remained was a glimpse of your car and the shattered hopes of nearby guys. But that meeting was just a coincidence. Your real mission for coming today was different. You reached the administrative building, parked, and made a call. Soon, a woman in formal attire walked out smiling. Hello, are you Chen Luonan? You nodded. Yes, I am. Our dean is waiting for you. Please come with me. Moments later, she led you to the dean's office. She knocked and opened the door. Inside, a 60-year-old gentleman stood up smiling. Mr. Chen, I can't believe how young you are, you smiled back. Dean Liu, you still look as energetic as ever. After some pleasantries, you both sat on the sofa. The secretary brought tea and left quietly. Dean Liu picked up his cup. Please, have some tea. You took a sip. You didn't know much about tea, but you smiled and said, excellent tea. As he set the cup down, the dean got straight to the point. Mr. Chen, you said on the phone you wanted to donate 10 million to our university. Is that true? You set your cup down and looked him in the eyes. Absolutely true. Dean Liu looked surprised. But you have no special connection to our university. So, before he could finish, you smiled. Who said I have no connection? You swirled your teacup slowly. My younger sister is a student here. Dean Liu understood. I see. He asked, do you have any special conditions for this donation? You answered without hesitation. Yes, I do. Please tell me. You set the cup down. This time, all traces of warmth had vanished. Looking straight at Dean Liu, you said clearly, my first condition is that your university must restore my sister's honor and prove her innocence. You paused, then laid out your second, even bigger condition. And my second condition, you said in a calm voice, is that my sister be given direct recommendation for a postgraduate research position. After a moment seeing the slight hesitation on Dean Liu's face, you added, furthermore she should be given priority in various academic competitions and research resources. Dean Liu fell into deep thought. Finally he nodded slowly. Mr. Chen, clearing up the initial rumors about your sister is no problem at all. As for the postgraduate recommendation and competition resources, I will do my best to coordinate this. Hearing this, you smiled in satisfaction and nodded. I trust. The university will make my sister an outstanding postgraduate student. You added one more sentence, but this single sentence shocked Dean Liu to his core. Oh, and yes, I'd be even happier if she finishes her PhD later. My sister didn't reply. She calmly told the officer, sir, I can call my older brother here right now. The officer nodded. Moments later, she called you in front of the class on speaker. Your calm, confident voice filled the room. Brother, please come to the college. You answered instantly. I'll be there in 5 minutes. She hung up, looking resolute. 5 minutes felt like an eternity to the others. Whispers, laughter, and insults filled the room. The teacher and counselor nodded, agreeing. Fang Yunyan stood there, smug like a winner. Meanwhile, Luo Xiaoyu held your sister's hand tightly, offering silent support. As time ticked away, patience wore thin. Suddenly, a powerful engine roar cut through the air. A smile lit up your sister's face. My brother is here. The whole class turned toward the door. You walked in calmly, carrying a file bag. Chen Qingqing's long-suppressed pain surfaced. Your presence shifted the mood. Is that the rich guy? So young and handsome. I'd date him too. Even Fang Yunyan was stunned for a moment. You ignored everyone, walking straight to your sister. You stroked her hair gently and smiled. Qingqing, don't worry. As long as I'm here, nothing will happen to you. The elderly officer approached and asked, are you Chen Qingqing's older brother? You nodded calmly. He asked, is that luxury car outside yours? Yes, it is, you replied, pointing outside. You opened your file bag, pulling out a thick folder. If anyone doubts it, look at this. Registration, purchase bill, insurance, and official documents. The officer inspected them thoroughly. Everything is in order. This can't be. Fang Yunyan's face turned pale. She rushed over. Sir, let me see too. You looked at her with a faint smile. You're Fang Yunyan, right? You tossed the documents before her. See for yourself if you don't believe me. The three of them stared, faces shifting from doubt to shock. Their disbelief turned into deep terror. The owner of a 3 million yuan luxury car was actually Chen Qingqing's brother. The class's attitude flipped instantly. Fang Yunyan grasped at her last hope. She screamed, no sir, they can't be siblings. This man is just keeping her. You laughed, looking at her like a fool. You told your sister show them. She placed 2 ID cards before the officer. She said, sir, is this proof enough? The officer checked the addresses on the IDs and confirmed, you two are indeed siblings. It's undisputed. I don't believe it. Fang Yunyan shrieked, reaching for the IDs. The officer's expression hardened. He pulled his hand back, asking sternly, what are you trying to do? They are siblings. Why are you lying? What is your true motive? Fang Yunyan's face fell, leaving her speechless. The officer ignored her and handed the IDs back. He turned to your sister. The investigation is complete. It's proven you were a victim of rumors. Any other requests? Before she could speak, you stepped forward. Yes, we need your help with one more thing, you said firmly. First, we want an official investigation report or a public statement to clear my sister's name and restore her reputation. The officer nodded. He asked, anything else? You smiled, glancing at the stunned Fang Yunyan. Spreading rumors is easy. Clearing your name is hell. She ruined someone's reputation without proof. Shouldn't she pay the price? Teacher Pan Huayong tried to intervene. Chen, this is just a misunderstanding. Let her apologize and end it. Counselor Li Chunxiang added, you're both parties here, you'll see each other daily. Why escalate? Your sister stayed silent, watching you. You laughed coldly. Apologies solve nothing, it's not that simple. You turned to the officer. If I sue her for defamation and spreading false rumors, what's the penalty if she's found guilty? The officer understood the gravity. Under the law, it's a serious offense. It could mean 5 days in custody and a fine. 5 days in custody, the words hit Fang Yunyan like a bomb. She panicked, running to your sister, sobbing. Qingqing, forgive me, I was wrong. I didn't want to ruin you. I'll pay, just don't send me to custody. But your sister remembered your words, never be soft on such people. She stepped back, saying coldly, I don't accept your apology. Say whatever you need to say in court. You nodded with satisfaction. Giving some people a chance is just digging your own grave. But Pan Huayong tried again. She apologized. Just stop here. Don't ruin your relationship over a misunderstanding. This will impact her entire life. Your sister looked at him coldly. Pan sir, what relation do I have with her now? When the school was about to expel me, why didn't you stand by me? Did you also assume I was kept by someone? Li Chunxiang chimed in. How can you talk to your teachers like that? The college decided it. We tried to be lenient. Your sister replied, you never tried to prove my innocence, only to reduce the punishment. Li Chunxiang was silenced. You stepped forward, hand on your sister's shoulder. We've decided to handle this legally. This has nothing to do with you anymore. I trust the law. It punishes the guilty and protects the innocent. You looked at Fang Yunyan, saying in a low voice, not a single guilty person will be spared. She tried to beg again, but your sister stopped her. Wait for the court. You walked out with your sister, leaving the class stunned. Chaos erupted. Fang Yunyan, terrified, made one last desperate move. She grabbed the officer's arm. Sir, I don't want custody. Please help me. The officer shook his head. The other side isn't willing to settle. We can't intervene. You should prepare your defense in court. After the police left, Fang Yunyan had no options. She looked at Pan Huayong and Li Chunxiang with a final hope. The teachers looked at each other, consoling her. Don't worry, we'll talk to the principal and ask him to handle it. They immediately went to Principal Zhao Meilin's office. Knocking and entering, Zhao Meilin asked, "Is the matter settled?" They looked at each other, and Pan Huayong said, "Madam, the Chen being kept by someone was just a misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding?" Zhao Meilin asked, surprised. "Then what about that luxury car?" Li Chengxiang explained, "It's her brother's. His name is Chen Longnian." But Zhao Meilin smiled with disdain. "He claimed to be her brother, and you people actually believed him?" Pan Huayong nodded. "Just her brother. The police were there. I had handed over the bill, insurance, and all the documents. It was obvious. The luxury car was mine." Principal Zhao Meilin went pale. She was the one who pushed to expel Chen Qingqing. Now the truth was out. It was clear her decision had been rash, but she quickly regained her composure and said smoothly, "If it was just a misunderstanding, let's end it here." I shook my head. "Madam, it is not over yet." Zhao Meilin asked. "The truth is out. What else is there?" I replied. "Chen Qingqing is suing Peng Huanyuan." "Lawsuit?" Zhao Meilin was stunned. She apologized. "Why sue? It's a bit much to make such a big deal out of a misunderstanding." Peng Huayong said helplessly, "We tried to reason with her, but she refuses." After a moment, Zhao Meilin ordered, "Bring Chen Qingqing to my office. You were driving your purple sports car, taking your sister to the dorm. People stared, but you didn't care. You smiled and told her, 'Qingqing, get your license next semester. I will gift you a car.' She looked at you, shocked. 'Really?' You laughed. 'Absolutely. I will enroll in driving school.'" Her phone rang. Afterward, her expression turned serious. "Brother, the principal called me to her office. Before you could speak, that witch called you?" "You asked?" Luo Xiaoyu whispered. "She is ruthless. She loves expelling students. Don't let her bully you." Your sister nodded. "I think she alone decided to expel me." Then she worried. "She is calling me now, surely to protect Peng Huanyuan. She is tough, but she won't eat you alive." Still, your sister was anxious. "If she pressures me to drop the lawsuit, how will I finish college?" Luo Xiaoyu looked worried too. "Don't back down," she asked impatiently. "But she is the principal. If she targets me later, how can I study?" Even Luo Xiaoyu seemed nervous. "Trust me, I have a plan." You pulled over and said, "Go ahead fearlessly. If she gives you any trouble, call me immediately." Hearing you, her heart, she felt that childhood trust again. Her big brother always had her back. She nodded firmly. "Okay, brother, drop me there." Minutes later, the purple sports car stopped in front of the building. Your sister unbuckled her seatbelt. Luo Xiaoyu asked, "Will you be okay alone?" Your sister smiled. "Don't worry, I am going to war." She said defiantly, "Everyone says the principal's office is a lion's den. Well, I will conquer it. I won't back down." You laughed and encouraged her. "Go. If anything happens, I will be there instantly." Watching her enter, you asked Luo Xiaoyu, "Is the principal really that scary?" She whispered, "I heard her son once attended a university in another city. He was accused of harassing a student. The court gave him 10 years. But he couldn't take it and took his own life in jail. Since then, the principal changed. She became harsh. Now, if a student makes a small mistake, she gives the harshest punishment." You smiled faintly. "The people who deserve pity are often those who refuse it." You pulled out your phone. A respectful voice answered. "Hello, Sir Chen," you said calmly. "Principal Liu, you need to come to the Finance and Management College building now." He replied, "Yes, I am on my way." You hung up with a faint smile. Meanwhile, your sister reached the office. The door was open. She saw Zhao Meilin's cold expression. She took a breath and knocked. "Madam, you called for me?" Zhao Meilin said coldly, "Come in." She entered and nodded at the teachers. But Zhao Meilin pointed to the floor in front of her desk and ordered coldly, "Stand there." Your sister stood silently. Zhao Meilin stared at her. After a moment, she asked in a grave tone, "Chen Qingqing, do you know?" "Yes, I know." Chen Qingqing took a deep breath. Her eyes were filled with resolve. The principal sat behind the desk, looking arrogant as usual. "If you know, you should understand why I called you. What Peng Yuanyuan did was a misunderstanding. Your innocence is proven, so there is no need to ruin her. If you sue for defamation, her life is over. Listen to me. Drop the lawsuit and end this." This hypocritical remark made Chen Qingqing smirk. She looked directly at Zhao Meilin and replied without hesitation, "Madam, you talk about showing mercy. But when she dragged my reputation through the mud, did you think my life could be ruined? This morning, when I reached class, the teacher you gave that order, right?" Zhao Meilin said firmly, "Yes, that was my decision." Chen Qingqing retorted, "Tell me, madam, before deciding, did you ever check the facts? Did you even try to find the truth?" The teachers looked uncomfortable. They never expected a student to question the principal like that. Her face flushed. She slammed her hand on the desk. "Chen Qingqing, are we discussing your expulsion? I am telling you to forgive Peng Yuanyuan. This is an internal college matter. If this reaches court, the college will be disgraced." Chen Qingqing smiled slightly. "So the concern is not the college's reputation, but your position? You mean I deserve to be disgraced and expelled just so your image wouldn't be stained?" "Enough." The teacher interrupted. "Chen Qingqing, apologize to the principal. If madam wishes, she might still forgive you." Zhao Meilin laughed coldly. "No need. If you think I am unjust and you have no future in this college, then leave right now. Drop out." Chen Qingqing replied without a second thought, "I agree. A college with a principal who cannot distinguish right from wrong." She opened the door and left quickly without looking back. The teachers were stunned. They were about to follow her when Zhao Meilin stopped them in anger. "Let her go. I want to see how arrogant she is. If she doesn't drop out, I promise she will never get a degree. Outside, waiting, you sat in the driver's seat. Beside you sat Liu Changye, the university chancellor. In the back, Luo Xiaoyu nervously wrung her hands. You shook your head. Hello, Chancellor. Liu Changye looked at you in surprise. Is this your sister Chen Qingqing? You smiled. No, her roommate. Then you see, I didn't bring you here just for a ride. Liu Changye asked. Then why? You tapped the steering wheel, looking at the building entrance. You said in a deep voice, my sister has been called to the principal's office. I know her personality well. I fear for my sister so that justice is served and she knows the truth is on her side. Liu Changye's face turned serious. He said solemnly, you are right. Zhao Meilin, I know she abuses her power. She is definitely capable of that. Suddenly, the office door flew open. Chen Qingqing stormed out, trembling with rage. Her face was flushed with anger and humiliation. Seeing her like that, the warmth in my eyes vanished instantly, replaced by a cold, dangerous glare. Someone will pay for the injustice they caused my sister today. From a distance, I rolled down the window and called out, Qingqing, come here. Get in the back. She walked to the car, confused. She opened the door, but the moment she looked inside, she froze. University Chancellor Liu Chang was sitting there. She couldn't believe the university's top official was in her brother's car. Still, despite her confusion, she kept her composure and spoke respectfully. Greetings, Chancellor. Liu Chang's demeanor shifted instantly. A moment ago, he was just giving other students perfunctory nods, but as he saw Chen Qingqing, a warm smile broke across his face. He leaned forward and said, hello, student. I watched through the rearview mirror as my sister's pale face turned, and my eyes iced over. Tell me what they did to you. Everything. I brought the Chancellor here specifically so you could get justice. Chen Qingqing stared at him in disbelief. He smiled, adding, your brother is right. Tell me everything, and I will demand answers from Zhao Meilin myself. Chen Qingqing finally broke, tears welling up. She explained how Meilin forced her to drop the lawsuit to save the college's reputation, how she judged her without a hearing, and finally, how she expelled her. Hearing her story, my anger deepened. I said in a cold voice, what a magnificent principle, expelling a student without knowing the truth. And even now, stopping the victim from seeking justice? I looked at Liu Chang. Chancellor, tell me now, who is at fault here? Liu Chang broke into a cold sweat. Meilin was one side, but I was the other, and he knew my influence well. He didn't hesitate. He said sternly, this is completely wrong. It is entirely her fault. A grave injustice has been done to Chen Qingqing. It is her right to sue Fang Yunyan. The university will fully support her actions. I asked the next question. Who will answer for forcing her to leave? Who guarantees Zhao Meilin won't harass her again? If the environment is like this, she shouldn't stay here anyway. Liu Chang immediately replied, of course. Next semester, have her come to my office directly. I will arrange everything for her transfer. He added softly, first I would like to speak with Zhao Meilin. It would be better if Chen Qingqing continues her studies in her current department without any fear. I smiled faintly. Fine. A subtle, dangerous smile played on my lips. Then let's go. I will have a face-to-face talk with this great principal today. Soon we arrived at the principal's office. The teachers who were there had left. Zhao Meilin sat comfortably with her eyes closed. Liu Chang knocked on the open door. Hearing the sound, she blinked. But as she saw the Chancellor himself at the door, her expression changed instantly. She stood up, smiling and rushing forward. Oh, Chancellor, you came yourself? Please, sit. I will make you some good tea, Liu Chang said coldly. No tea needed. His voice was so sharp the room's atmosphere shifted. Meilin's smile froze. Nervous, she asked. Chancellor, are there any special instructions? Liu Chang sat on the sofa. I sat beside him, hands in my pockets, silently turning on my phone's recorder. I wanted every word of Zhao Meilin's to be evidence. Now she was completely restless. She sat slowly and asked hesitantly, Chancellor, what is the matter? Liu Chang pointed at me. Meet Mr. Chen. He is the older brother of the same Chen Qingqing you forced to leave college earlier. Hearing this, her face turned pale. Her eyes widened and cold sweat broke out on her forehead. She turned toward me trembling. So, you have come to seek justice for Chen Qingqing? I watched her as if she meant nothing at all. A calm, confident smile played on my lips. Exactly. We are here to settle the score today. Zhao Meilin looked at me, then at the Chancellor, and after a moment she said with a fake smile, what is it, Mr. Chen? You brought the Chancellor to interrogate me? I chuckled, dusting off my pants. I looked into her eyes. My voice was perfectly calm, but it dripped with icy sarcasm. Principal Zhao, your status is very high. I am just a simple man. Just that my incompetent sister had to suffer some insults here. As her brother, I couldn't watch that happen. So I came to get justice. Insults? Zhao Meilin blinked innocently and said, Mr. Chen, what are you talking about? How was Qingqing mistreated here? I laughed internally. Playing the ignorant act now? I turned to Principal Liu. Principal Liu, you are the one responsible for this college. Will you tell the truth or will I? Called by name, Principal Liu panicked. He cleared his throat. Dean Zhao, Qingqing wants to sue that girl Fang Yunyan for defamation and spreading rumors. It is a legitimate request, yet I heard you were blocking her at every turn. Zhao Meilin immediately clarified, Principal Liu, I was only thinking of the college's reputation. Small student matters should be settled internally. If this reached court, it would be scandalous. Principal Liu ignored her and fired another question. And without investigating, based on just one photo, you ordered Qingqing's expulsion? Meilin's face fell. Hesitantly she admitted, yes, that happened, but that photo clearly showed her in a luxury car. It had a very bad impact. I did it to maintain discipline. That is enough. Principal Liu slammed his hand on the table. Dean Zhao, what kind of thinking is this? Even a criminal gets police evidence before a verdict is passed. But you decided to ruin a student's future based on an incomplete photo? What rule is this? He paused and added, and that Fang Yunyan, she spread such a rumor that a girl's life was about to be ruined. Why let her off so easily? If there is no price for spreading rumors, everyone will do it. I will fully support her. Fang Yunyan must be punished for her actions. I watched all this from the sofa. I knew Principal Liu was scolding Dean Zhao only on the surface. He really just wanted to suppress the matter with some harsh words. Just as I thought, Zhao Meilin immediately pretended to accept the mistake. Principal, you are absolutely right. I was hasty. I will be careful in the future. Principal Liu also managed the situation, saying, fine, admitting the mistake is enough. Qing is stubborn but a bright student. Take care of her. Let her finish her studies without any trouble. Zhao Meilin understood him immediately and smiled. Don't worry. As long as she follows the rules, she won't have any trouble. And if her grades are good, I will personally ensure she completes her graduation. Watching their collusion, a cold smile appeared on my face. Follow rules, get good grades. She would do all that anyway. To them, ruining or building a future was just a decision. Did she really think I would be so easily swayed? I stood up slowly, my eyes locked on Zhao Meilin like a sword. I said in a cold voice, Principal Liu, a person who cannot distinguish right from wrong and abuses their power, do they even deserve to sit in the dean's chair? Silence hit the room instantly. Both Principal Liu and Zhao Meilin turned pale, never imagining I came for more than a simple decision. I came to snatch Meiling's seat right out from under her. A flustered Principal Liu rushed to defend her, stammering, Mr. Chen, the position you're sitting in today, do you have any idea how many lives were ruined to get there? I don't care if I have to turn the world upside down. I will hunt down every student whose future you destroyed. Hearing this, the weight of it hit them like a lightning strike. Cold sweat broke across the principal's brow. He realized if a fair probe started, it wouldn't just be Meiling. The entire college administration was in trouble. He turned to Meiling, voice trembling, Dean Zhao, tell the truth. Without solid proof, exactly how many students have you expelled? Meiling slumped back on the sofa, lips quivering, unable to utter a single word. All the records were in the college, leaving no room for her to lie. Seeing her panic, Principal Liu was utterly disappointed. He let out a pained sigh and closed his eyes. Dean Zhao, you've let me down. At next year's college meeting, I will personally remove you from your post. He stormed out of the office like he was fleeing a disaster. You stood there, watching Meiling's pathetic state, and said calmly, Dean Zhao, start your retirement preparations now. Pack your bags and go home to live out your days. Then you leaned close to her ear, whispering so only she could hear. Oh, I almost forgot. Your only son is gone from this world. Who will you spoil now? Meiling's eyes widened with fury, her face twisted in a look so horrific, it was as if someone had struck her deepest wound. The door clicked shut. Silence filled the small cabin. Finally, unable to hold back, Principal Liu looked at you and asked quietly, Mr. Chen, that bit about her son. You said that on purpose, didn't you? You stuffed your hands into your pockets and smiled faintly. So, even you know her biggest weakness? Principal Liu gave a bitter smirk. Every teacher avoids the topic. Everyone knows her son's death is her deepest trauma, and no one wants to dig up those old scars. Hearing this, you laughed, and without showing any pity, you replied, if she doesn't want pain, why did she give herself the freedom to ruin innocent students' lives? Is her son's death the world's greatest tragedy? What about the poor students she framed and crushed? Their lives hold no value to her? Your words hit Principal Liu like a slap to the face. He hung his head in shame and fell completely silent. Finally, he admitted, to be honest, the college administration has known about her exploits for a long time, but we feared if we fired her, she might take her own life. That is why we all turned a blind eye. You immediately cut him off. Don't give me that fake sympathy. You weren't worried about her. You were terrified that if the truth came out, social media and the public would cost you all your seats. You reached the ground floor, and without looking back, you walked out, calling over your shoulder. Now that the matter can't be hidden, have you figured out how to handle it? Principal Liu scrambled after you, wiping his sweat. I will form an investigative committee today. All cases of students who faced injustice will be re-examined. Those wronged will get justice, and compensation will be provided if needed. At least this time they realized that admitting the mistake was better than facing public humiliation before the entire country. Outside the office building, Principal Liu stopped and asked respectfully, so, what about Qing? If you say the word, all the paperwork can be completed immediately. You glanced at your purple luxury car, parked nearby, and said calmly, when Zhao Meiling leaves the college next year, Qing's department will be her own choice. Minutes later, your stunning purple car crawled through the college streets. Students craned their necks to stare at the car. Curiosity was written all over their faces. To them, the wealthy man inside was the one rumored to be supporting a student, but their gossip didn't affect you in the least. Qing sat in the front seat, wringing her hands and nerves. Hesitantly, she asked, brother, what actually happened in there? You kept one hand on the steering wheel and said in an incredibly calm tone, something that completely shocked her. Everything went well. Zhao Meiling's game is basically over. If everything goes to plan by next year, she'll be moved to a minor department or fired entirely. In the back seat, Lu Xiaoyu's eyes widened in shock. She practically jumped in excitement. Brother, you are amazing. She was the most dangerous dean in the whole college. How did you manage it? You replied, the easiest way to deal with arrogant and cruel people is to expose their past crimes. When one truth surfaces, many others follow. You then recounted the entire conversation, explaining how you pressured Principal Liu by demanding a probe into her old, unjust decisions. The car's mood shifted. Qingqing let out a deep breath. Her Xiaoyu quickly chimed in saying, our college expels the most students from that department every year. Who knows how many poor, helpless lives that woman has ruined. You pressed the accelerator down and smiled. Don't worry, it might take time, but justice will be served. Those who were wronged will get what they deserve soon. Soon, the car pulled up to the girls' hospital gate. You looked at Qingqing and said, Qingqing, that woman won't last long now. But if you don't like studying in this department, by next semester, we can talk to Principal Liu and have you moved. You thought Qingqing would jump at the chance to leave, but she suddenly sat up straight, determination clear in her eyes. I'm not going anywhere. If I change departments now, everyone will think I'm afraid of Zhao Meiling and the Fang Union. If anyone should leave, it's them, not me. Hearing this, you laughed out loud and lovingly ruffled her hair. Well said. After all, you're my sister. No matter what happens, your brother will stand by you. With that, you waved. Go, head to the hostel and rest. I still have some of my own work to finish. The emotional smile on Qingqing's face vanished in an instant. She narrowed her eyes. Beware, just because you have a little money doesn't mean you can go chasing after girls. You shook your head, heading off as you muttered, don't worry so much. You have to admit, Principal Liu acted quickly. That very afternoon, an official notice appeared on the university website. It clearly stated that the rumors about Qingqing and a wealthy sugar daddy were completely false. Attached to the notice was an official police investigation report. It clearly stated that Qingqing was entirely innocent, and all the talk on social media was fabricated rumors. Normally, this should have settled things, but the exact opposite happened. The entire university plunged into a new debate. No one cared about the rumors anymore. Everyone's attention was fixed on that purple luxury car and its owner's name. The notice clearly stated the car owner, Chen Lunian, is Qingqing's biological older brother, and he is only 24 years old. A luxury car like that at only 24. The news spread through the college like wildfire. Your name became the biggest topic of conversation in the entire university. The very next day, the door to the girls' hostel was hammered repeatedly. Roommate Xiaoyu, who hadn't slept all night, tiredly opened the door. Their classmate, Mo Yinghong, was standing outside. Is Qingqing inside? Xiaoyu's sentence wasn't even finished when she marched straight into the room and toward Qingqing. Feigning concern, she said, Qingqing, are you okay? As soon as I saw the college notice, I came straight here. That Fang Union really went too far, spreading those lies about your own brother. Qingqing replied with a faint smile, yes, I'm fine. She didn't even bother looking at her properly. Mo Yinghong didn't care. Her true motive was written all over her face. She leaned in. By the way, the holidays are coming up. Why doesn't the whole class go to dinner, and then maybe karaoke? And yes, bring your brother too. It'd be great to meet everyone. Qingqing replied without hesitation. We'll see. My brother is very. Cheng's face dropped when he said he didn't have time, but she smiled again, getting straight to it. Fine. Just give me your brother's WeChat. I'll talk to him myself, Qingqing said, sharp and instant. Not happening. A faint mocking smile touched her lips. My brother made it clear. If anyone gives out his WeChat without permission, he'll cut my allowance. You don't want me starving next month, right? She boasted, don't be silly. If you're broke, I'll take care of my friend for 15 days, or longer. Even so, her expression betrayed her. Realizing no deal was coming, she stood up, forced. Fine, I won't push. We'll meet properly later, and I'll see him then. I replied, the door is open. The second she left, my roommate Xiaoyu slammed it shut. The fake smile vanished from Cheng's face instantly. She sighed, that's the fifth girl today asking for brother's WeChat. Lu Xiaoyu breathed out, exasperated. These girls have completely lost it. Look at their faces. They're dying to get to him. Let's stay at a hotel tonight. I can't stand another minute in this dorm. Cheng pulled out her phone with a cold smirk. Running away? Let's see how long that lasts. We'll rent a large flat near campus. Xiaoyu and I will move in. Meanwhile, outside the Shengde law firm, you parked your shiny purple sports car in a tight spot. You struggled, but as you headed toward the building, Cheng called. Hey brother, where are you? Downstairs at a law firm. You want the truth about Fang Union? That's why I'm here meeting the sharpest lawyer in the city. You replied calmly as you walked inside. On the phone, Cheng snapped, I can't stay in the dorm. Every day some girl shows up asking for your number. Get us that flat near campus fast. Xiaoyu and I are moving out. Hearing your sister, a smile touched your face. You said, consider it done, not a small place. Either a fully furnished 3-bedroom flat. I'll drop by sometimes to make sure you two are okay. The work here is done. After hanging up, you went straight to the reception, confident. I have an appointment with advocate Li Muhua. Tell her a major case has arrived. The famous lawyer Li Muhua was already waiting. She offered a seat, exchanged a few pleasantries and got to the point. So how can I help you? You leaned back on the sofa and spoke 4 words, defamation and malicious rumors. Then, you detailed how Fang Union had spread lies about your sister, Cheng, at college. She adjusted her glasses, confident. Civil cases like this are easy. How much compensation do you want? Or is a public apology enough? You chuckled. Money? No, I don't need her cash. You leaned forward, voice serious. I want her behind bars. My intel says this case carries at least 5 days of administrative detention. You wanted real punishment, not just paperwork. The lawyer faltered. Her teacup trembled slightly. She warned Mr. Chen this is just a student matter. If she's detained, her record will be ruined forever. You cut her off. When she dragged my sister's reputation through the mud, did she think about her future? Advocate Lee, tell me, are you taking this case or not? Seeing your steal, she smiled instantly. Of course, I'll fight it. Don't worry about the fee. My sister Cheng Cheng will handle the details. With that, you walked out. Meanwhile, the girls' dorm at the university was in total chaos. Look, the college official. The girls shouted, buzzing with excitement. The college and police just issued a notice. All those rumors about Cheng Cheng were false. And that rich guy with the purple sports car is just her older brother. He's only 24. The girls were screaming in awe. Meanwhile, Sue lay comfortably on her bed. A cunning smile played on her lips, as if she knew everything already. A curious roommate sat by her side and whispered, "Tell me, if that guy is really that handsome and rich, will you go on a date with him?" Su Qingyao giggled. Her eyes flashed with worldly ambition. When a guy looks like that and has deep pockets, who'd be dumb enough to say no? The roommates cheered. Su Qingyao silently pulled up your WeChat chat box. Her fingers flew across the screen. Handsome. Seeing that college notice, I'm sure you aren't the guy everyone said you were. That is why I've decided not to delete you. But as her thumb hovered over the send button, she paused. The message hung on the screen. No, if I initiate, I'll lose. It'll hurt the pride of the school beauty. Su Qingyao deleted the message instantly. Then you, murmured Chen Ronan, I'll give you 3 days. If you don't reach out to me, then I'll give you a chance. Meanwhile, the boys, always the pranksters, were staring at the school's cleanup announcement. A twisted grin spread across his sad face after reading it. So, that's her biological brother?
Nice.
That means Chen Cheng isn't taken yet. But the next second, he realized the power backing her. He scratched his head and his eyes landed on a name in the announcement, Fang Union. He slammed the table and hissed with a snake-like smile. Can Chen Cheng destroy Fang Union entirely? If she wanted. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Fang Union, this feud is far from over. I'll use you like the pawn you are. Night deepened. You were on the presidential suite's bed, lying back, scrolling on your phone. The screen lit up. A WeChat message from Luo Xin. Ronan, will you take me out for hot pot tomorrow? A mischievous smile touched your lips. You sent a message back. Who? Why are you thinking of him in the middle of the night? You laughed at her innocence and replied, read that word carefully. After the joke, you thought to yourself, if something really happened with Luo Xin and Uncle Luo found out, how could I face him? No, I need total security. At any cost, no trouble. You sat up, opened a food delivery app, and ordered in bulk. With security handled, you opened WeChat. Su Qingyao, the famous school beauty of the Science and Technology University. Her cold, aloof vibe was exactly your type. If you were still the poor, ordinary version, you wouldn't even dare look at her. But now, you had the system. You had the cars. You had the confidence. No matter how high-class the girl, she'd eventually give up her WeChat. You opened her interface. The system data panel flickered in your mind. Target Su Qingyao. Favorability 3. Red packet sent 0. System return. Seeing just a 3, you pursed your lips. At least my childhood friend had 18. But you shrugged. It's the first meeting, barely talked. 3 is fine. With the system, why worry? Throw money, boost love. You understood the system's game. Just keep sending gifts and transferring cash. Once favorability crosses 96, the system won't just give 100x returns. But I'll win over such a beauty easily. Just like Luo Xin. Her favorability was at 97. One WeChat message and she comes running. Thinking you'd send a message to Su Qingyao, you became the laughingstock of the Electronics, Science, and Technology University. Meanwhile, she was bored in the dorm, scrolling through short videos. A notification popped up. Her eyes lit up and she opened the chat, only to freeze. What's a joke? She fired back several confused questions, then suddenly realized. She burst out laughing. That rich boy's autocorrect had betrayed him. Back in the hotel, you stared at the question marks on your screen, utterly baffled. What happened to the keyboard? You looked down and reread your text. That input method was a total disaster. You meant to type school beauty, but this stupid software, it forced a change to joke instead. Panicking, you tried to fix the mistake. After triple-checking, you sent a careful explanation. Soon a cold reply came. I figured as much. You breathed a sigh of relief and jokingly typed, you really are a school beauty, gorgeous and smart. High blood pressure, and high cholesterol. That's enough. You laughed at the screen. Just as you were about to reply, another message appeared. Since that school cleaning announcement, people finally stopped calling you a rich man, keeping college girls. I told you I wouldn't delete your number, you shot back. So is our revolutionary friend. She wasn't acting coy this time. Fine. You said you'd take me out when you were done. Is the big boss finally free? Your Lucian's photo appeared. A faint smile touched your lips. Just a bit more. Once tonight's work is finished, I'm all yours. Su Qingyao instantly caught the meaning. What are you busy with tonight? Who are you with? You teased. What's the matter, school beauty? Jealous? Afraid I'll run off with someone else? She wrinkled her nose. Don't flatter yourself. I'm just afraid you'll exhaust yourself. You kept the flirting going. Oh, so you want all of my heart? Su Qingyao replied, not enough. Your words are way too smooth. You retorted, there's so much oil in those words I could toss you in a pan and fry you. That teasing made Su Qingyao. She gave in. Fine, get lost. I need to sleep. Meet when you're free. You declared done. Tomorrow evening it is. Silence followed. Back at the dorm, lying in bed, Su Qingyao stared at the chat history, an involuntary smile on her lips. She whispered, this Chen Ronan, he's full of mischief, not a gentleman at all. Even after the long flirting session, you weren't satisfied. You opened the Red Packet interface. The system popped up. Target Su Qingyao, favorability, 15. You raised an eyebrow. Though it only went up by 12, it proved that constant teasing could melt even an ice queen. Favorability could be raised. Making her yours was only a matter of time. You were planning your next move when your phone vibrated violently. A name flashed. Little sister, you answered immediately. Brother, you said you'd help me find a rental today. Where are you? Her frustrated voice rang out. You slapped your forehead. Man, I completely forgot because I was caught up talking to Su Qingyao. Tomorrow, I'll take you house hunting myself. Chen Qingqing replied, fine. I don't have morning classes tomorrow. I'll come to you. You opened an apartment app and picked out some high-end furnished flats near the university. You scheduled a viewing for the next day, finally relieved, and headed to the shower. Meanwhile, in the darkness, Lucian was like a thief, opening her door just a crack to peek out. The living room was silent and pitch black. She took a deep breath, not even daring to put on shoes. Barefoot, she crept out like a cat toward the main door. Her heart leaped into her throat with every step. Finally, the click of the door, the soft sound of it closing. Once outside, she sprinted down the stairs like a horse set loose in a field. With trembling hands, she texted you. Ronan, I'm out. Getting there now. Back at the hotel, you were gaming, cursing at your team's jungler. Are you blind? Is that how you play? Before you could finish, a triple kill echoed through the room. Your jungler had wiped out 3 enemies in their own jungle. Wow, boss, you're a legend. Jungler for the win. In the heat of the moment, a new message popped up. Lucian, I'm almost there. You took a deep breath. It felt like the energy, spiked from your gut, straight to your brain. At 24, full of drive and hormones, staying calm wasn't easy. You didn't hesitate a second, left the hotel room, and sent your location. Half an hour later, while you were in a heated match, a thief-like knock echoed at the door. She's here. You immediately typed in team chat. Sorry, brothers, my girlfriend is here. I have to go. The chat exploded. Traitor, leaving mid-game? You'd choose a girl over the squad? Keep dreaming. If I lasted more than a minute, I'd eat my phone. You smiled, closed the game. The next morning, the sun was high. In the Nanyang winter, it barely gets light before 9. Lu Xin was curled up in your arms like a docile cat deep in sleep. You were just as exhausted, fast asleep. Suddenly, a shrill ringtone shattered the silence like an alarm. You both jolted awake. Lu Xin saw her phone had fallen off the bed. Wrapped in a towel, she climbed down and grabbed it. Mom flashed on the screen. Panic-stricken, she looked at you and lied through her teeth. Mom, I'm at Chen's place. She invited me over for a late-night snack. It got too late, so I stayed. Her mom's lecture boomed. What kind of snack takes all night? Get home. Your dad and I are prepping for the new year. Come get your things. Lucien hesitated. Mom, I'll be there in a bit. Her legs still felt weak. She couldn't face the trip home yet. Her mom snapped. You're getting rebellious, aren't you? Never listen to us. She hung up. Lucien breathed a sigh of relief and collapsed onto the bed, heart pounding. If Mom knew I spent the night with you, she'd skin me alive. You smiled, playing with her hair, so how was that midnight snack last night? Lucien turned bright red, hiding her face in your chest. You're the worst. Don't say things like that. You were about to tease her more when your phone rang. You answered in Chen. Brother, you didn't forget about the house hunting, right? You answered casually, didn't forget. What's the rush? Give me an hour, then I'll be there. An hour? Does it really take that long? You laughed. Kids shouldn't interfere in adult business. Without giving her a chance to argue, you hung up and tossed the phone. You left the hotel looking refreshed. Lucien still felt a bit awkward walking, but she left the lobby with you. While waiting for a taxi, you opened the system. Target Lucien, favorability. 97. You raised your brows. Did the system glitch? But then you thought, why worry? Because of this girl, the system had already given you 10 million yuan in profit. You opened the transfer page and without hesitation, sent her 50,000 yuan. Seeing the notification, Lucien's eyes. I have urgent business today, so I can't stay with you. Take this 50,000 yuan, have a great meal with your friends, and spend it freely. Lucien pouted, her face showing. I saw the annoyance on her face. You opened the car door, gestured her inside and smiled. Go on, get going and take care of yourself. You gave Lua no room to argue or play coy. You slammed the car door shut and told the driver to move. We had barely started rolling when Chen Qingqing called again. Brother, where are you? We are literally turning into ice cubes out here. You walked toward your sleek purple Bentley, totally unfazed. You opened the door and slid in. What is the rush? I am almost there. Just wait for me by the college gate. You floored it. The roar of that V8 engine shattered the silence of the street as the car rocketed toward the Electronic Science and Technology University. Over at the campus, Luo Xin was calling her friend Luo Chenxi with a heavy heart. Chenxi, will you go to that old hot pot place with me today? Everyone left me behind. When that gleaming Bentley pulled up to the university entrance, every eye in the area locked onto it. Over the last 2 days, this car had become the talk of the entire campus. Wow, that famous purple Bentley. The color is stunning. I heard the police report said the owner is only 24. Imagine owning a Bentley worth millions at 24. So that means Chen Qingqing, the girl behind all those rumors, is actually from a wealthy family. A guy with a face full of acne said, guys, I have decided. I am not going after Chen Qingqing anymore. I am going to win her over. If I land her, I will never have to work a day in my life. Another guy teased, look in the mirror first. That rich girl might run away just by seeing your face. The jealousy in the boy's eyes was impossible to hide. Meanwhile, the girls were buzzing with excitement. I heard the owner of the car is not just rich, he is incredibly handsome too, just like in some romance novel. One girl laughed. Are you after him or his Bentley? The other replied without skipping a beat. Both. You were sitting inside the car, ignoring all the chatter outside. You pulled up in front of them, rolled down the window and said simply get in. Under the gaze of hundreds of envious onlookers, Chen Qingqing and Luo Xiaoyu climbed in. Now no one dared to mock them as gold diggers. Brought up by others, the girls started complaining the moment they sat down. Brother, why did you take so long? I was freezing. You smiled and cranked the heater to the max. I had a little work to handle. Could you not wait in the hostel for a while? Luo Xiaoyu, sitting in the back, trembled. Our hostel does not even have a heater. As soon as I get out from under my quilt, that is a minor detail. The house you are seeing today will definitely have central heating and air conditioning. If it does not, I will install the best system myself. At those words, Chen Qingqing's anger. Brother, you are the best brother in the world. Since money was no object, everything moved fast. You had spoken to the agent yesterday. In just one morning, you had walked from the university to pick out a luxurious 300 square meter apartment. 4 bedrooms, 3 living areas, a full smart home system, and all the modern appliances. Everything was already installed. Just move your stuff in and live there. Once the contract was signed and the keys were in hand, Chen Qingqing and Luo Xiaoyu acted like freed birds. They ran through the house like 2 playful puppies. They kept shrieking and jumping with joy in every room. After a while, Chen Qingqing came to you and said, Brother, please choose your room first. After all, you paid for everything. Sometimes, there is no need to be polite. You were lounging comfortably on the leather sofa. You waved your hand and said, I will not be staying here much. You should take the largest room. Chen Qingqing cheered with delight. Then she ran over and grabbed your arm, shaking it hard. You laughed and pulled her off. Easy, easy. You are going to pull my arm off. Then you looked at the shy Luo Xiaoyu standing nearby. Xiaoyu, you choose a room you like too. She blushed deep red and stammered, I am fine living anywhere. A mischievous glint appeared in your eyes. You looked her up and down and asked, Really? Anywhere? The receptionist at the front desk was about to explain something, but you walked straight past her. You glared at Yuan Lu and said, Yuan, do you think you can order me around? Your look rattled Yuan Lu for a second, but he kept up his arrogance and sneered. You still have milk on your lips, kid, and you think you are a big shot? Your parents are just common laborers screwing bolts at an electronics factory. What do you think you are? Hearing his parents insulted made your anger boil over. Your fists were creaking, and the veins on your forehead bulged. Just then, the system chime echoed in your mind. Ding. Provocation from a highly wicked individual detected. Hidden dignity restoration mission activated. Mission. Kick Yuan Lu out of the company. Reward. 5 million yuan cash. You took a deep breath to calm yourself and looked at Yuan Lu as if he had already lost. Yuan Lu, believe it or not, I can say one word and you will be fired this instant. Yuan Lu burst into loud laughter. He pointed at the employees standing nearby and shouted, Listen up. Our company's biggest shareholder. His parents together do not even make 10,000 yuan a month and he is playing the CEO here. I am going to die laughing. The entire lobby was watching you like you were a circus clown. Suddenly, someone in the crowd said, Wait, his clothes look like limited edition Givenchy. The whole set must be worth tens of thousands of yuan. Another replied, Really? Can he afford that? Yuan Lu laughed even harder. He is wearing Givenchy? It must be a fake copy from a 9 yuan 999 shop. Seeing things spiraling out of control, she rushed back to the counter and immediately called the president's office. Manager Wang, please come down quickly. Chairman Lin has arrived in the lobby, but everyone thinks he is a con artist and has surrounded him. Please come down immediately. Meanwhile, a cold, authoritative female voice echoed through the hall. Does no one have work to do? Why is there such a crowd here? At the sound, the company's general manager, Huang Wei, pushed through the crowd quickly. The moment they saw her, the employees scattered instantly. Seeing his superior, Yuan Lu immediately smiled and said, Manager Huang, you are here. This guy is here causing a scene. I told him to leave several times, but he thinks he is. Huang Wei did not even look at him. She shoved him aside and rushed towards you. The next moment, a look of deep respect filled her face. She took your hand with both of hers and said with nervous reverence, You came for an inspection and did not even tell us in advance. If I had known, I would have welcomed you at the main entrance with all the senior executives. The whole hall went dead silent. Only seconds ago, Yuan Lu, who was mocking you, looked like his eyes were about to pop out of his head. It was as if a bomb went off in his brain. How could this be? The boy whose parents worked in a factory his whole life is now the largest shareholder. Am I dreaming? But he was a cunning old man. He stepped forward, trembling, cold sweat pouring down his forehead, soaking his white shirt through. He tried to squeeze out a laugh while joining his hands. Oh, little Chen, so you really are the company's major shareholder. I was just joking. I thought maybe someone was trying to scam you. That is all. I will bring fruit to your house one day and apologize to your parents myself, okay? There was nothing but contempt in your eyes for him. Now you remember we are relatives? I will tell you. In a cold voice, Manager Huang, it seems the hiring standards in our company are very low. Lack of skill can be improved with hard work, but someone with such a rotten character should not be in this company. Experienced as she was, Huang Wei immediately caught your hint. She glanced at Yuan Lu's employee ID card and ordered coldly, Yuan Lu, go to the finance department right now. Take your final paycheck. You're fired. You shoved your hands in your pockets and scanned her up and down. Luo Xiaoyu nodded, speechless. Yeah, anyone, you leaned in, voice dropping to a playful raspy tone. If anyone wants, pick a room with me tonight. The atmosphere froze. Luo Xiaoyou's eyes widened in total disbelief. She couldn't process it. Her face turned bright red, ears included, and her heart hammered against her ribs. Before Chen Rongyan could even react, Chen Qingqing stepped in like a mother hen protecting her chicks. She pulled Luo Xiaoyou behind her and glared at you. You old pervert, now you're eyeing my roommate too? Seeing the fear on both their faces, you finally burst out laughing. Whoa, easy. Just a joke. You two scared easily. You laughed so hard tears pricked your eyes, but for a split second, a hint of sadness flickered on Luo Xiaoyou's flushed face as she hid behind Chen Qingqing. She didn't even notice it herself. Inside a private room at the Shancheng old hot pot, the spicy broth bubbled away. The sharp aroma filled the air. Lu Chenxi picked up a piece of beef tripe. We watched the gloomy Luo Xiaoyou. Finally, she had to ask. So, what's up with you today? Usually you're the most excited about hot pot. Today you're just a wilted vegetable. Luo Xiaoyou sat silently, poking at her food with chopsticks. Her eyes turned red. She whispered softly, Chenxi, honestly, I wanted to invite Chen Rongyan for hot pot today, but he didn't even look my way and turned me down.
What?
Lu Chenxi's eyes widened. She dropped her chopsticks onto the table. So, you only remembered me after he rejected you? Am I just your backup? Not at all. She said it was a joke, then added while eating, well, at least I got hot pot today because of you. But Luo Xiaoyou couldn't smile. She took a heavy breath and asked, Chenxi, tell me, is there any room in his heart for me? He called me to a hotel last night. I didn't even think. I just went. But today when I asked him for a simple meal, he point-blank refused. What is she almost spat out her milk? She asked in shock, wait, a hotel last night and you just took a taxi to him? Is your brain working? If you throw yourself at him that easily, then Luo Xiaoyou panicked. She put down her chopsticks and said, so what do I do? Help me. Lu Chenxi thought for a moment, then turned serious. Tell me, after last night, did he buy you an expensive bag or take you to a fancy restaurant? Luo Xiaoyou shook her head. No, but he just transferred 50,000 yuan to me without a word. 50,000? Lu Chenxi took a deep breath. Don't take it to heart. If he just handed you money like that, maybe he didn't see last night as a romantic connection. Maybe he just viewed it as a transaction. Maybe he doesn't love you. These words were like a lightning strike for Luo Xiaoyou. She slumped against the chair, her face turning deathly pale. No, that can't be true. How could he think of me like that? Lu Chenxi said calmly, then why won't he even go for a simple hot pot with you? Just think about it. Silence filled the room for a moment, but in the next second, what Luo Xiaoyou said left Lu Chenxi stunned. Luo Xiaoyou didn't cry. Instead, she spoke with a faint smile. Whether he likes me or not, what does it matter? I'm already completely head over heels for him. I'll be the one to chase him. I'll be the one to win him over. And he's so generous with money too. She practically hid her face in her bowl out of shame. Her voice was barely a whisper, but a strange madness gleamed in her eyes. And in this matter, she stopped in embarrassment, then whispered, he's truly amazing. Lu Chenxi's jaw dropped. It looked like it might fall right into the hot pot. She looked at her friend as if she were looking at some bizarre creature. You've lost it. Truly lost it. How can anyone say such shameless things? He hasn't just taken your body. He's completely taken over your mind. Have you ever thought about what you'll do if he leaves you one day? What will you have left? Luo Xiaoyou smiled. There was no regret on her face. If he leaves, so be it. When did I ever expect to be his forever? Even if he has an official girlfriend or wife later, what of it? A man as rich and handsome as him, do you think he'll ever lack women? Will he spend his whole life just with me? A strange madness filled her eyes. So even if I end up like a moth flying into a flame, I still won't let him go. Even if I have to be his secret lover for the rest of my life, it's fine by me. Lu Chenxi looked at her helplessly and shook her head. She felt her friend was completely drowning in it. But when she looked down at the boiling hot pot, a thought crossed her mind too. What if she really found a man that rich and powerful? Just then, Su Qingyao sent a WeChat message. College is out. Are you coming to pick me up at the college gate? If someone sees, they'll think I'm being kept by some rich guy. Let's meet at the usual spot. You type back with a laugh. Fine, if that's what you say, then I definitely have to come. Only 3 blocks away from home. Finally, you compromised and booked the most magnificent private room at a 5-star hotel. Around 6:30 in the evening, Su Qingyao entered the room. You swirled your glass of red wine and smiled. Miss Su, you're a full 10 minutes late today. She spoke in a cold, breathless tone. I had some trouble shaking off some people. You're quite popular. It seems like flies are buzzing around you every day. Have you ever said yes to anyone? Su Qingyao pushed her hair back. And I only choose who I want. Like you. You smiled. Oh, what did you see in me? My money? She said without hesitation. Yes, I want you to help me pay off my family's debt. You were slightly stunned. We have a debt of 5 to 600 million yuan, about 50 to 60 billion. Hearing this, even you were surprised. She gave a faint self-deprecating laugh. When people hear this amount, the guys who used to hang around me run off before the meal is even over. Some older men tried to take advantage of the situation with bad intentions. I turned them down too. Looked at us. So, tell me, do you still have the guts to help? You laughed. Nobody would even take you for free. How are you going to pay back all that money? Are you really not going to return the millions you take from me? Su Qingyao replied coldly. Who says I can't pay it back? My family holds some extremely confidential secrets and high-level trade connections in international commodities. If someone helps me, then face. Another question popped into your head. If your family has such valuable resources, why don't your parents partner with a major investor themselves? Why does a college student like you have to come out and beg people for help? Hearing this, Su Qingyao's fists clenched. Her eyes turned red. She said softly, my father is in prison. Sudden silence filled the room. Your face, you ask seriously, what happened? She took a deep breath. A year ago, my father got greedy and took a massive international order worth 5 to 600 million yuan. To fulfill it, Casino Harley. Finally, they reported my father's illegal financial transactions, and he went to jail. Hearing this, only 4 words crossed your mind. Sheer, unadulterated greed. You asked quietly, the company, how will you pay it back? Su Qingyao suddenly smiled. There was extraordinary determination in her eyes. So what if I'm the daughter of a debtor? What if I am a girl? As long as I'm alive, every single penny of this debt. Saying this, she proudly held her head high. My father spent over 10 years in the business world. His loyal customers and partners stood by him in tough times. A large part of the debt was covered by those very people with their own money. If someone pays off the external debt now and brings those people back together, our family could be back on its feet within a year. Listening to her, you were truly impressed. This isn't some spoiled rich girl, this is a born businesswoman. You tapped your fingers on the table and said with a faint smile, deal. Think about it. It was never going to end well. She looked into your eyes, asking what you wanted in return. You leaned in close, staring at her stunning face and whispered it. I need you. I want you. She shook her head, voice calm. Are you out of your mind? No matter how beautiful I am, my price is 5 to 600. If you mean you'll include your father's entire business empire, then yes, I'm in. Her eyes lit up. She didn't hesitate for a second. Deal. You said, but for now she served a bowl of soup then filled one for herself. The table was spread with expensive dishes. You took a slow sip and continued, I'll help, but I need some time. Su Qingyao took a sip, set the bowl down and asked point blank. About how much time? How long to pull that kind of cash together? You look calm, but your mind was racing. According to the system, if my favorability with a WeChat friend hit over 96, I could claim a massive cashback reward once a month. A simple red packet. Sending one triggered a 10 million yuan return. 12 times a year meant 1,200 million. So far, I only had 4 people above 96. Mom, Dad, Chen Xing, I thought to myself. Given Su Qingyao's current situation, if we got a bit closer, hitting 96 wouldn't be hard. If later, college friends and others reached 70, the payouts would keep climbing. The only problem was the timeline. It wasn't guaranteed, but I figured a year tops. I finished the soup and said, a year max, no longer. Su Qingyao frowned. Isn't that a bit long? Can it be sooner? I nodded. I'll do my best. As soon as the money is ready, I'll tell you first. But I had another plan. If I could get someone to 100 favorability, the reward structure would change completely. The red packet limit would jump to 1,000,000 yuan, with a 10,000 times multiplier 100 billion yuan. With that kind of cash, Su Qingyao, a 5 or 600 million yuan debt would be nothing. Right now, my best bet was my mother Zhao Changrong. Her favorability was already at 99. How to push that last point was still a mystery. Once I laid it out, Su Qingyao didn't push further. She was smart. She knew pestering me wouldn't change the answer. We finished eating. Afterward, we walked to a nearby shopping mall. I kept suggesting, let's buy you some branded clothes or cosmetics, but she refused every single time. Instead, she grabbed a 15 yuan milk tea from my hand and ate some street snacks. Anything over 100 yuan, she wouldn't even glance at. I held the milk tea, just barely. If this were before, I never would have taken 8,000 yuan seriously. I watched her closely. After such a massive family collapse, the girl who once lived in luxury was now calculating every single cent. Her mental strength was truly admirable. I nodded with a faint smile. They say it's easy to go from simplicity to luxury, but going from luxury back to simplicity is the hardest part. Hearing that, Su Qingyao looked at me intently, then said, right, it's late. I should get back to college. I'll drive you, I offered. She shook her head immediately. No, if I step out of your flashy luxury car at the college gate, people will talk. The day I'm actually your girlfriend, you can pick me up every day. I laughed. Already dreaming big, huh? She winked playfully. And, you're living that dream already. In the end, she took a taxi back alone. I watched her shadow disappear around the street corner. Then I immediately, as expected, the dinner wasn't a waste. Su Qingyao's favorability had bumped up again, hitting 52. Before I knew it, the weekend arrived. The day Chen Qing and Lu Xiaoyu were moving out of the old dorms. Despite being the older brother, I didn't have to lift a finger. I just paid for a professional moving crew. I lounged on the leather sofa in the Red Lake residence apartment, watching the two girls scramble around, smiling. Just as they were finishing up, Chen Qing's phone rang loudly. She glanced at the screen, her expression shifted instantly, and she turned to me. Brother, we're in trouble. It's the college counselor. Lu Xiaoyu panicked, standing straight up. We're done for. The college found out we're staying off campus without permission. They'll force us back into the dorms. I rolled over, unbothered. Relax, as long as I'm here, no worries. Pick up the phone. Chen Qing took a breath and answered. Hello? Chen Qing, I heard you and Lu Xiaoyu moved off campus. Yes, ma'am, is that against the rules? Counselor Li Chunxiang laughed lightly. No, don't panic. I just heard it and wanted to verify. Chen Qing lied smoothly. My brother rented a large place near campus. It's very close, so we're staying there. She winked at Lu Xiaoyu and asked, Ma'am, does the college have any issue with this? Absolutely not, Li Chunxiang replied quickly. Just make sure to lock the doors at night. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, I'll just record it in the system, and she hung up. As the call ended, Lu Xiaoyu let out a long sigh of relief, clutching her chest. My God, I thought for sure they'd send us back to that old dorm. Chen Qingqing said proudly. Even if they come with a loudspeaker, I'm never stepping foot in that dorm again. Hearing them, looks like you've grown a bit bolder, Qingqing. Back at the college office, the atmosphere was heavy. After hanging up, Li Chunxiang looked at Dean Zhao, Mei Lin. Dean, are we really just letting Chen Qingqing and Lu Xiaoyu live off campus? Zhao Mei Lin glanced at her coldly. Every year, countless students do it without. Can you stop them all? Li Chunxiang said quietly. True, but usually it's third or fourth year students. In our department, no freshman has ever lived off campus before. Zhao Meilin waved her hand dismissively, like shooing a fly. Let it go. Small matters like this never end. Don't waste your energy on it. Getting no support from the dean, she just nodded. Understood, Dean. I'll go. As the office door slammed shut, Zhao Meilin's calm mask twisted into pure rage. Her eyes were cold as ice. She squeezed her mug until it groaned, whispering through gritted teeth, Chen Longnian, Chen Qingqing, you two wait and see. If I really have to step down early because of this, I swear I'll ruin your lives. I'll make sure you can't survive at this college. Over at Nanjiang Group, employees were whispering. You noticed Zhang Li hadn't been visiting Wu Keqing's office lately. It was bound to happen. She climbed to the top using the boss's influence. Then, Wu Huihui didn't have time for rumors. She sat in her office chewing on breakfast, her brow furrowed with worry. Over the last few days, she had conducted a thorough investigation. She felt certain something was going on between Wu Keqing and Zhang Li, but she had no hard evidence. Everyone in the company was playing dumb. No one wanted to cross the boss. Wu Keqing had even disabled his office CCTV. Frustrated, Wang Huihui tossed her breakfast into the trash and paced the office. She walked to the window and lit a cigarette. Suddenly, a name popped into her head. Yes, Chen Longnian. Zhang Li had gotten him fired. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Meanwhile, you were sound asleep in the Red Lake residence flat when your phone on the nightstand started ringing off the hook. The phone rang. I picked up, hearing Wang Huihui's voice. I paused for a second before realizing it was Wu Qicheng's wife. Why call me? She gripped her phone tightly. We are connected, but I lack proof. You were fired by that same woman, right? Is there a way I can turn the tables? You didn't reply instantly. You asked what she wanted. She turned ice cold. First, I will strip Wu Qicheng of his shares and kick him out empty-handed. As for Zhang Li, I will drag her name through the mud. All sleep vanished. You are ruthless, I thought. Wait, let me talk to someone. I hung up, bolted from bed, grabbed my phone book, and called my old associate. He was the key. He tipped me off about Wu Qicheng and Zhang Li, and even leaked me Wang Huihui's private number. A moment later, he answered. Why call me now? His voice showed he was still working late. I chuckled and went straight to the point. Ping ping. Get somewhere private. I have a job for you. He dashed toward the stairs. Go on, what is it? I lit a cigarette slowly. You always bragged about having proof of Wu Qicheng and Zhang Li's office affair. I told him, give the video to Wang Huihui right now. Han Pingping nearly dropped his phone, eyes wide. Are you crazy? If I leak that, the company will explode. I don't want to lose my job. I laughed at his nerves, then turned serious. Wang Huihui is mounting a counterattack. She wants his assets and his position. Giving her that video is the biggest favor you can do her during her darkest hour. It proves your loyalty. When she becomes the boss, will she forget you? On the other end, Han Pingping took a deep breath. His mind raced, yet fear remained. He stammered, but if Wang Huihui loses, won't I be finished? I'll be staring down the barrel of a gun. My life will be over. Ping, how many years have you been at Clearwater? Is your salary even worth this? I hit home. I pressed on, telling him that as long as Wu Qicheng stays at the top, he will always remain a bottom-tier employee. Win this bet and life changes. You will be the boss's right-hand man. You will run this company. Those who take risk win. Cowards stay empty-handed. Tell me, do you have the guts? Silence hung for 10 seconds. Finally, Han Pingping gritted his teeth. Fine, screw it. I have to take a gamble once in my life. The worst that happens is I lose my job, then I will find another. I laughed. That is the spirit. Go. The real show begins now. The game was entirely in my hands, and the trap I laid was about to blow up Wang Huihui's office. Han Pingping reaching her office, his throat went dry from nerves. He checked the hallway to ensure he was not followed before slipping inside. Wang Huihui stood by the window. She frowned at him. You? Need something? Han Pingping locked the door without a word. He whispered, Madam Wang, Chen Longyan sent me. The moment she heard my name, her expression shifted. A complex glint appeared in her eyes. She signaled for him to sit, hanging on his every word. He pulled out his phone and handed it over. Chen Longyan said, I must give this to you myself. The video showed Wu Qicheng and Zhang Li being intimate in the office. They were tangled together like it was their private bedroom. Han Pingping watched Wang Huihui, expecting her to explode in a fit of rage. To his surprise, she watched the entire clip with zero emotion. She only said, send it to me. After receiving it, she looked at him with a stern gaze. I will remember this favor, but until I regain control, keep your mouth shut. If word of this gets out, you know the consequences. Han Pingping froze. Her calm mask shattered. She glared at the couple in the video, teeth clenched. Her fists tightened until her knuckles cracked, as if she would crush the phone. She would destroy the screen, but she was an incredibly disciplined woman. In seconds, she regained her composure and dialed a mysterious number. Her voice shook, but her resolve was clear. Dad, Wu Qicheng is having an affair. I want to kick him out with nothing and take back Clearwater Company. The old man on the other end said only one thing. Agreed. You had no idea that beyond the company drama, another trouble was eyeing your money. Chen Xiaolong's girlfriend, Xie Feifei, was out shopping with her friend Liu Xiaolong. She looked worried. Lu Xiaolan, who seemed naive but was secretly cunning, saw through her at once. Feifei, what is wrong? Did the dowry talk fall through? Feifei pouted. Xiaolan, that is exactly why I am stressed. I visited Chen Xiaolang's house recently and found out his cousin he just transferred 300,000 yuan to his parents like it was nothing. As she spoke, her eyes filled with greed. Tell me, the 180,000 yuan we agreed on for the dowry, isn't that too low? If they have that much money, shouldn't I ask for 288,000? Lu Xiaolan chuckled inwardly. This woman is too greedy. She wants to squeeze every penny she sees. Liu Xiaolan was no simple girl herself. She wanted their relationship to break so she could swoop in. She pretended to sympathize. Oh, Feifei, I think you are right. Since they have that kind of wealth, asking for 288,000 is not much at all. Do it. If your parents back you up, how could Chen Xiaolang say no? Feifei was easily swayed, as if injected with adrenaline. She stopped shopping abruptly and headed straight home. She kept muttering, yes, the sooner I get that money, the better. As Feifei walked away, a cold smile played on Lu Xiaolan's lips. Feifei, you are just as greedy and insatiable as ever. With less than an hour left until the office closed, Chen Xiaolang received another overtime notice. Honestly, he felt relieved. It was good that he had not promised to meet his girlfriend, Feifei, today. Otherwise, a new storm would have brewed. He still remembered the last time he missed meeting her due to overtime. The result? She did not speak to him for days. He eventually had to spend 3,000 yuan on gifts to win her over. After that, Chen Xiaolong learned his lesson. He never promised to meet anyone until the workday ended. But as they say, the thing you fear most happens. 10 minutes before the shift ended, Feifei's phone rang. Seeing her name flash on the screen, Chen Xiaolong froze. It felt like trouble was coming again. He took a deep breath and answered. Hello, Feifei? A voice as cold as ice came from the other side. Come to my house as soon as you leave work. My dad needs to talk to you about something important. Chen Xiaolong knew what it was about. He said helplessly, Feifei, the boss suddenly assigned overtime. Can we meet another day? Her tone grew sharp. Is your job more important than me? No buts. You must come tonight. If you don't show up, it is over between us. She hung up. Listening to the dial tone, Chen Xiaolong was completely torn. On one side, a short-tempered boss. On the other, a girlfriend who threatened to break up over the slightest thing. After much thought, he gritted his teeth. I can find another job, but finding a wife is harder. He finally walked into the boss's office and said politely, Sir, I need some time off tonight. It is an emergency. My girlfriend's parents demanded I visit, and my boss's face darkened instantly. Leave work just to visit her folks? Is it really that urgent, Chen Xiaolong? My home pressed me hard. My boss stared for a while, then gave a sarcastic smile. Fine, if it's that critical, go. Xiaolong felt like his boss was mocking him. I thanked him repeatedly and left happily, but the moment I was gone, he called HR. In a cold voice, he ordered that Chen Xiaolong, he's distracted. Find a reason to fire him. Xiaolong had no idea. Cutting through the evening traffic, he drove fast. After an hour, I reached Feifei's home at 8. The atmosphere felt strange. I politely greeted her uncle and aunt, but they barely acknowledged me. They sounded stiff, like a formal script. Feifei smiled and led me to the sofa. Xiaolong, sit. Mom and Dad have something important to discuss. I wasn't even settled yet. I felt anxious. Uncle, aunt, what is this about? Why so serious? They looked at each other and her father cleared his throat. We heard from Feifei that you have 300,000 yuan saved. Xiaolong was stunned. He looked at Feifei, wondering why she told them that. I still answered honestly, yes, but that money was borrowed from my cousin for wedding expenses. Feifei's father didn't care. So what if it's borrowed? Then he revealed his true motive. Your aunt and I think the previously agreed dowry of 188,000 should be increased. Xiaolong's face fell. Uncle, that was already settled. Why now? Feifei's mother pursed her lips. Times have changed. You'll feel more secure. If you truly love Feifei, prove it with money. Xiaolong looked at Feifei, hoping she'd side with him, but she was smiling. It was clear they'd planned this. Xiaolong took a deep breath. So, how much do you want? Her mother answered without hesitation. 288,000.
What?
Xiaolong almost jumped up. Aunt, you're raising it by 100,000 at once? That's too much. Her father's face hardened. We raised her with such care. If you want to marry her, why complain about 10,000 more? Feifei chimed in. Xiaolong, this is a family decision. If you really want to marry me, 288,000 proves your sincerity. Otherwise, forget it. Her eyes showed no hesitation at all. Xiaolong sat there like stone. He couldn't believe the girl for whom he'd risked his job, the one he thought was his whole world, was forcing him like this. Your cousin Xiaolong felt like he'd been poisoned. Moments ago the mood was happy, but now her family was demanding more dowry like predators. Instead of the original 188,000, they now wanted 288,000. A full 100,000 extra. Xiaolong struggled to control his anger. Clenching his fists, he said politely, Uncle, Aunt, you know our family situation. My parents used all their savings for the down payment and the original dowry. The 300,000 we have isn't even mine. It's a loan from Chen Ronian. His voice dropped. After the wedding, I have to repay that with interest. If you asked for 20 or 30,000 more, I might have found a way. But asking for an extra 100,000 in one go. Is this a wedding or a robbery? How can I tell my parents this? Feifei's smile vanished. Greed was written all over her face. Her parents showed their true colors too. Her father wrinkled his nose. You aren't willing to pay? Her mother sneered. If you can't pay, then the deal is off. Xiaolong was pushed into a corner. He stayed silent for half a minute, then looked up firmly. Fine, if the dowry must be 288,000, then I'm not getting married. Fei Fei panicked. Her father slammed the table. A beggar threatening us? Her mother mocked. Such a poor mindset. But this time, Xiaolong didn't back down. He looked them in the eye. Uncle, I really want to marry Fei Fei, but if you want to suck my parents' last drop of blood for this, I won't do it. Her father started his arguments. Why don't you think about our daughter? She's an honorable girl. Do you know how much she'll compromise in your poor house? What's the harm in asking for 288,000? It's for her security. If you can't pay this much, what kind of man are you? Xiaolong laughed internally. Security? It's all an excuse. I replied, don't use emotional pressure on me. I won't pay 288,000, and my parents won't agree either. Seeing he wouldn't budge, Fei Fei immediately acted sweet. Xiaolong, don't decide so fast. Go home and talk to your parents, maybe they can find the money. Her father agreed. Yes, go ask. If you get the money, the wedding happens. If not, it's over. Xiaolong looked at his girlfriend of many years with disbelief. She didn't side with him either. Just go and convince them. Bring the 288,000, and I'll marry you in style. Xiaolong's heart shattered. This wasn't a marriage, it was a transaction. He said with a bitter smile, fine. I'll go talk. He left without looking back as if escaping a madhouse. As his car left the lane, the family's true face appeared again. Her father rubbed his hands greedily. Do you really think that poor kid can arrange 288,000? Fei Fei said with confidence, don't worry. He's so obsessed with me that if he has to sell his own blood to get me, he'll do it. Her mother's face beamed with joy. Now we can just sit back and count the money. Meanwhile, Xiaolong drove fast, his heart broken. With a trembling voice, he called his father, Chen Changhe. Dad, wait for me tonight. We need to talk. An hour and a half later, he reached the old, dilapidated house in the village. His simple parents were waiting. Seeing their graying hair worn out from working to afford his wedding, Xiaolong's heart ached. His eyes turned wet. With a choked voice, he said, Dad, Mom. His mother, Li Hongying, saw his defeated face and panicked. She pulled him inside. Chen Changhe took a puff of his beedi and asked, What's wrong, son? Xiaolong said heavily, Fei Fei's family is raising the dowry. They want 288,000 now. They were stunned. Li Hongying gasped. It was agreed at 188,000. Another 100,000? This is daylight robbery. Xiaolong slapped himself in regret. It's all my fault. Last time Fei Fei visited, she saw our 300,000. She told her greedy parents, and now they want to suck us dry. But poor Xiaolong still thought it was her parents' scheme. He had no idea Fei Fei herself had planned it all. Chen Changhe sighed deeply. Where will we find this money? That 300,000 was a loan from Chen Roni, and Chen Xiaoliang gritted his teeth. If we hand over 288,000 for the dowry, we will be left with pennies. How will we ever face Roni again? I am not getting married. Both parents froze. Chen Changhe shook with rage while Li Hongying broke into tears. Son, have you lost your mind? If this engagement breaks, who will marry their daughter to you? The words hit Chen Xiaoliang like arrows. He slumped to the floor, head in his hands, sobbing, Mom, I am worthless. Even buying this house drained your entire life savings. The dowry money is all borrowed. I have nothing left. How can I even think about a wedding? Yet, his parents kept comforting him. Chen Changhe said in a choked voice, Son, don't cry. You may not have achieved great success, but at least you are a good man. If you had become a big shot, you would be gone all year. You are the best son to us. Li Hongying hugged him, vowing to sell everything or take on debt. We will find that 288,000 yuan somehow. Chen Xiaoliang wept, touched. Mom, Dad, I will do it. I will marry her. But then a thought struck Chen Changhe. He said, what about the money borrowed from Roni? We will use that for the dowry. If we fall short for other wedding costs, I will call him tomorrow. He is earning well now. If he gave us 300,000 before, surely he will lend us another 10 or 20,000. They all agreed to keep squeezing Roni for funds. Little did they know, the next morning, their greedy plan was about to collide with reality. Chen Xiaoliang had barely sat at his desk when HR fired him. The reason was clear. You constantly take leave for your girlfriend. You are never around. Do you own this company? Packing his life into a cardboard box, he stepped out. The cold wind hit him, and his brain finally cleared. Was I really willing to lose my job for a girl like that? Is she even worth it? Meanwhile, in your luxurious Hongho residence penthouse in South Jiayang, you were enjoying the central heating. Ever since you moved here, you never looked back at your old rental. Luo Xuan messaged you daily, begging you to return. You didn't even bother replying. Why go back to that freezing room without a heater to play games until my fingers turned to stone? By 10 a.m., Chen Qingqing and Luo Xuan had left. You were still relaxing in your climate-controlled bed when your phone started ringing. You checked the screen, Chen Changhe. A faint smile touched your lips. You picked up. Hello, uncle. Chen Changhe's voice on the other end was incredibly nervous. Roni, do you have a moment to talk? You already knew what this was about. You leaned back, cool and collected. Uncle, why the formality? Just tell me what you need. Chen Changhe took a deep breath and spilled the whole story. He mentioned the 300,000 yuan you already lent. They had raised the dowry demand from 188,000 to 288,000. Now, they were out of cash for wedding expenses and needed more. They were calling to borrow even more money. To you, a few 100,000 yuan was nothing. You agreed instantly, but then asked a sharp question. Uncle, one thing. Did they decide to raise the price before or after they learned you had my 300,000? Chen Changhe hesitated. That is when you laid out your plan. Listen to my advice, uncle. Tell Shi Feifei that you have borrowed another 200,000 yuan from me. That makes 500,000 in your account. Then, watch if her family increases the dowry demands again. Even the experienced Chen Changhe was shocked. If they still raise the price after hearing about 500,000, it would prove they want money, not a relationship. He agreed and told Chen Xiaoliang. Chen Xiaoliang sat in his old car, chain-smoking. Job gone, spirit broken. After his father explained your plan, his mind finally snapped. So these people really see me as a walking ATM? He gritted his teeth and called Shi Feifei. He faked excitement. Feifei, listen. My parents have finally managed to scrape together the 288,000 yuan dowry you asked for. Across the line, Shi Feifei nearly shrieked with joy. Xiaoliang, you are the best. Your parents are amazing. Chen Xiaoliang sneered, then played the second part of your trap. Wait, there is more news. My father borrowed another 200,000 from my rich cousin. We now have a full 500,000 yuan in cash. 500,000! Shi Feifei's voice trembled with pure greed. Even from across the phone, you could clearly feel her insatiable hunger for the cash.